Chapter 164. What you said is very reasonable. Let's use the spirit of dealing with scumbags and sluts. We will defeat all those who look down on us. Xing Xiao, who was lying beside Muqiqi, was woken up by her bold words. He sat up drowsily and held her in his arms. He stroked her messy hair. Don't be so long-winded. Go to sleep. Muqiqi was afraid that she would agitate Qianqian, so she covered her phone. After a while, they hung up. Muqiqi raised her head and looked at Xing Xiao carefully. Xing Xiao's hair and singlet were messy in his sleep. But it added a touch of sexiness to him. Muqiqi stretched out her finger to touch his lips. But Xing Xiao grabbed her hand. Are you going to sleep? Or do you want to do something else? Muqiqi was so scared that she quickly closed her eyes. This man loved to tease her so much. The next day, Muqiqi went to school as usual. But she also saw Bai Xinlan in school. Now that Qianqian said that she wanted to cancel the engagement with the scumbag, they should be even more reckless. Sure enough, during lunch, Muqiqi saw Duan Xiao and at the basketball court of Enchanting University. Bai Xinlan was standing beside him, wiping his sweat and handing him water. Qianqian had sacrificed so many years of her youth for a man who played with her feelings. Muqiqi felt disgusted just thinking about it. Everyone said that every girl should meet a few scumbags. Because that was the only way to grow and mature. But in this world, there were also men who did not play with their feelings. They respected women and valued their feelings. So, Muqiqi felt that this saying was not entirely true. Muqiqi felt uncomfortable when she thought about Qianqian lying in the hospital while the scumbag and the slut were flirting with each other. But she knew that Qianqian would not let her wait for too long. Bai Xinlan saw Muqiqi passing by the basketball court when she was talking to Duan Xiao and so, she immediately put down her towel and chased after her. Muqiqi, did you see that? Even rich ladies like you will lose to us commoners one day. Of course, rich ladies like us will lose to commoners like you. After all, it is the most basic thing. We want our reputation but you don't. Muqiqi said without turning her head. Am I more shameless than that woman who got pregnant before marriage? Bai Xinlan chased after her and blocked her way. You knew that she was engaged and pregnant, yet you still interfered. Don't you think you're already the most shameless person in the world? Muqiqi asked with a smile, you don't have to show off in front of me just because you have the upper hand. Listen, my time is different from yours. You spend your time seducing men and posing on the bed every day. That's your life. But we still need to play the piano, attend parties, go shopping and buy diamonds. Can Duan Xiao and give you those? Bai Xinlan could not refute Muqiqi at all. Isn't she still going to lose to men even though she's rich? Bai Xinlan, listen carefully. I am giving you a piece of advice. Since you managed to get into Enchanting University, it means that you are not bad. You should know the relationship between the Duan family and the Lu family. The Duan family has been relying on the Lu family for so many years. Do you think that without the Lu family, Duan Xiao and is still the young master? After saying that, Muqiqi pushed Bai Xinlan away and walked past her. Bai Xinlan was so angry that her chest hurt. She seemed to have no choice but to shout at Muqiqi, you are not easy to deal with either, are you? Even the crown prince fell in love with you. But do you think that you can marry into the Xing family? I'm not sure if I can marry into the Xing family. But I am sure that I can make you disappear from Jianchuan. Do you want to try? Of course, Bai Xinlan did not dare to do that. She dared to attack Qianqian because Duan Xiao and was a fool. But who dared to provoke Xing Xiao? He was like a devil. He was moody. Who dared to provoke him? Just you wait. Very soon, the crown prince will dump you. Muqiqi did not even turn her head. She was amused. There was a reason why a scumbag and a bitch were attracted to each other. After all, birds of a feather flock together. Did Bai Xinlan think that she could provoke Muqiqi? She was completely wrong. Muqiqi did not even mention this couple in front of Qianqian. Who was she? Bai Xinlan could only go back to Duan Shao and that Muqiqi is also a bitch. Don't provoke her. Duan Shao and warned her sternly. Otherwise, no one can save you. Of course, Bai Xinlan knew how scary Xing Shao was. But she was not willing to give up. She was waiting for the day when Xing Shao dumped Muqiqi. She would laugh to her heart's content. But she might not be able to wait for that day. She would only wait for Qianqian's revenge. Qianqian thought about it for the whole night and the whole morning. Although her body was fine now, the wound in her heart was still there. So, Qianqian called Muqiqi in the afternoon and told her that she was going to Enchanting University. Are you feeling better now? It's not a big deal. Don't worry. Let me vent my anger first. Then, I will feel better. Okay. She is in class 4 of the finance faculty. After getting the information from Muqiqi, Lu Qianqian went to Enchanting University with 4 bodyguards. She waited at the entrance of Bai Xinlan's classroom. When Bai Xinlan finished her class, Lu Qianqian went up to her and shouted, "Bai Xinlan." Bai Xinlan turned around. Before she could see who it was, Lu Qianqian gave her a slap. Everyone present was dumbfounded, because they were at the entrance of the classroom. There were many people who saw the scene. But Lu Qianqian was not afraid. She pointed at Bai Xinlan and said, "Don't steal someone else's fiancé next time. I will give Duan Shao and to you." Bai Xinlan did not expect that Lu Qianqian would come to the university and in front of so many people. Let your classmates take a good look at him. Remember, if they are in the same faculty as you, they must take good care of their boyfriend. Otherwise, one day, he will become your boyfriend. After saying that, Lu Qianqian put on her sunglasses and raised her chin. Then, she left Enchanting University with her bodyguards. At this moment, how could Bai Xinlan feel? Shame and anger were not enough to describe her expression. I heard that her handsome boyfriend is engaged. But, you don't believe me. His wife has come to the university. Amazing. A bitch who steals someone else's boyfriend will die a horrible death. That is the young lady of the Lu family. She deserves to offend a rich man. Bai Xinlan could not bear the humiliation. She quickly left the classroom. She did not expect that Lu Qianqian would be serious. She thought that Duan Shao and was a pushover because he did not say anything to Lu Qianqian. She did not expect that a vengeful woman could be so scary. Chapter 165. Qianqian had taken the first step. Now, it was her turn to take the first step. Although they were facing different situations, there was no difference between the scumbags. They were all trash. Muqiqi was looking forward to what would happen when she returned to the Shen family tonight. Soon, Muqiqi finished her last class and left the school. When they got out of the school, she found Xing Zhao's car and got on it excitedly. Then, she told Xing Zhao about Qianqian's visit to the school. This is how Qianqian used to be. She did not ruin herself for a scumbag. Grandpa is at the Xing family. Huh? Muqiqi did not understand what Xing Zhao meant. Your grandpa is having tea at the Xing family. He went back to Jianchuan early in the morning. But, he did not rush home after he knew that Rong Junhan asked you to go to the Shen family. Xing Zhao explained. This is going to be a good show. Are you suspecting that my grandpa purposely found an excuse to visit his sick patient? But, he was actually testing Rong Junhan to see if she would cause trouble for me? It's true that he visited his sick patient. It's also true that he is testing her. Xing Zhao smiled. It's going to be fun. Then, I am looking forward to it. Muqiqi hugged Xing Zhao's arm and kissed him on the cheek. Let's go for dinner first. I will have the strength to argue with those people later. Xing Zhao lowered his head and kissed her head. Then, they went back to the small mansion and had a good dinner. Before they left, Su Zipei reminded Mu Qiqi. But don't go too far. Don't be too ugly. Aunt, Rong Junhan is hiding Mu Tongxue. Who asked you to be so polite to her? Aren't there other people in the Shen family? Mu Qiqi was amused by Su Zipei's words. Don't worry. I know what to do. Then, Mu Qiqi got into Xing Zhao's car. But, she noticed that there was one more person in the car. Xing Zhao had moved from the front seat to the back seat. Let Jing Yun drive. We don't want to be photographed. You will be photographed even if you sit in the back seat. Just tell me if you are worried. Xing Zhao glanced at her and closed his eyes. Stop nagging. Mu Qiqi did not expose him anymore. After all, Xing Zhao had many such excuses in the past. But, it was all because he was worried about her. For example, when the sports car entered the garage. She was still impressed. After you go in, be careful. If you're bullied, call me immediately. I know. Mu Qiqi nodded. With such a heartwarming lover, what was there for her to be afraid of? Soon, the car arrived at the Shen family's compound. Mu Qiqi got off the car at the iron gate and asked Jing Yun to accompany Xing Zhao. Still, when Mu Qiqi got out of the car, Jing Yun turned to Xing Zhao and said, Young master, the matter has been investigated. Perhaps Mu Qiqi did not notice that Jing Yun's return meant that the investigation of Shen Jinchuan's second injury was almost completed. She was not in the mood to ask about it. But Xing Zhao simply sat up and looked at Jing Yun. What's your conclusion? The old headmaster is already dead, so I thought that the clue was cut off. However, the old headmaster's daughter-in-law was also involved in the matter. According to her, she saw a woman looking for the old headmaster, but her surname wasn't Rong. Names can be made up. We'll talk about it later tonight. Xing Zhao knew that this matter would not go smoothly. After all, it had been a long time. Rong Junhan had plenty of time to think about it. Even if there were loopholes in the case, she should have fixed most of them after all these years. But, as long as it was done by someone, there would be evidence. So, he would continue to investigate. When Mu Qiqi entered the Shen family, the Shens seemed to have been waiting for her for a long time. They were all sitting on the sofa. Third uncle and third aunt were sitting on the left, and second uncle and aunt were sitting on the right. Rong Junhan was sitting on the main seat. Was it a joint hearing? Only youngest aunt was not here. Qiqi, have you eaten? Rong Junhan asked Mu Qiqi calmly when she saw her entering the living room. Yes, I have. We did not eat because we were waiting for you. Rong Junhan suppressed her anger and said to her. This house is full of elders waiting for you. Shouldn't you apologize when you come in? Apologize? Mu Qiqi was stunned. She pretended to be innocent. First of all, Aunt Rong, you called me to come home for dinner. But you did not tell me the time. Moreover, I still have homework and experiments to do. It's just that I came late. You are an elder. Do you have to make things difficult for me? Don't tell me that everyone is starving just to teach me a lesson. Mu Qiqi. Rong Junhan was furious. We don't care how you behave in the Mu family. We don't care if you have no manners or rules. But now, you are in the Shen family. You must abide by the rules in the Shen family. You made everyone embarrassed when you appeared. Your elders are gossiping about you. Don't you need to be taught a lesson? How did I let you be gossiped about? Mu Qiqi could not help but ask. You still have the cheek to ask. Rong Junhan slammed the glass table in front of her. You are so close to the Lu family's daughter who got pregnant out of wedlock. People are saying that you are not clean. They are engaged. Mu Qiqi said. What do you mean by not clean? This matter has humiliated the Shen family. And you are still so arrogant. You don't respect your elders at all. You are so stubborn. Then, Rong Junhan pointed at Muchichi and shouted. Kneel down. Grandpa is not here and you are acting like the head of the family? Muchichi sneered. Why? Eldest sister and eldest brother's wedding is going to be held soon. Are you still not happy? Huang Yu was sitting at the side. She rolled her eyes and asked Muchichi. They are not married yet. Isn't it too early to talk about being the head of the family? Muchichi was not the same as before. She used to watch gangster movies to learn how to use a tone to fight back. Now, she could handle such a situation. Because Xing Xiao had given her enough confidence. Rong Junhan was prepared when she saw Muchichi was not obedient. She gestured to the two men she invited to the front. They wanted to force Muchichi to kneel down. But Muchichi noticed them. She turned around and pointed at the two men. We are talking about human rights now. If you dare to do anything, I will definitely sue you in court. Don't listen to her nonsense. She is just a child. The two men did not listen to Muchichi. They stretched out their hands and held her down. But Muchichi did not kneel down. Chichi, I'm doing this for your own good. After all, the Shin family is not a place where you can mess around. It's not easy for the elders to handle things. So, I don't care if you're willing to accept it or not. You'll have to be punished. Rong Junhan said to Muchichi in a righteous manner. You make it sound nice. But you are just venting your anger. What era are we in now? There is punishment? Muchichi sneered. Grandpa should be at the door now. Chapter 166. What are you waiting for? Ask her to kneel down. The two men held Muchichi and wanted to force her to kneel down. But Grandpa Shen, who was standing at the door, could not stand it anymore. He walked out. Stop. Everyone was stunned when they heard Grandpa Shen's voice. They took a deep breath and stood up from the sofa. Grandpa Shen walked out from behind the screen and looked at everyone in the living room. Then, he walked to Rong Junhan. Before she could say anything, Grandpa Shen slapped her. Who do you think you are? How dare you show off in front of us? Father, second brother and Huang Yu were shocked. That's eldest sister-in-law, the Shen family is indebted to her. She is your benefactor. But what benefactor to me? Take care of my eldest son for me? He is her fiancé. Did Grandpa Shen force her? Even if she is our benefactor, Jianchuan should be the one to return the favor. How can she behave like this in front of us? Is she married into our family? Second elder and Huang Yu were speechless. After I die, will the Shen family change their surname to Rong? Father, calm down. Eldest sister asked Muchichi to come here just to tell her the rules of the Shen family. Third aunt added fuel to the fire. But she just said a few words and she already asked her to kneel down. I don't understand it. But I don't dare to say anything. Grandpa Shen was so dignified that no one dared to say anything. Especially Rong Junhan, who was slapped. She stood at the side and her lips were trembling. She was angry and scared at the same time. When I arrived at Jianchuan this morning, I heard that you were in a hurry to find Muchichi. You just wanted to bully her when I was not around. So, I purposely went to the Xing family for morning tea. I wanted to see if you, as the elders of the Shen family, have any sense of shame in your heart. I've been listening at the door for a long time. 5 adults and 2 thugs bullying an 18-year-old girl. You. Good job. Grandpa Shen was so angry that he laughed. Is this the good son I taught? I can't believe it. Father, you can't say it like that. It's a fact that Muchichi and Lu Qianqian are too close to each other. It's a disgrace to the Shen family. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk back to me? Because of Huang Yu's words, Grandpa Xing's anger exploded even more. Your father is a murderer. Why aren't you a murderer? You haven't learned anything, but you've learned to be strict with others and lenient to yourself? When you entered the Shen family and caused a rumor, did I ever find trouble with you?" Huang Yu was stunned by the old master's words and didn't dare to speak anymore. Tears welled up in her eyes and she almost cried. "Don't pretend to be innocent in front of me. If you want to bully Chi-Chi, wait until I can't move my old bones anymore. Then you can try to ride on my head." Mu Tangxue was really despicable in the past. But she was right about one thing. You worship Rong Junhan like a god. But to me, she's an outsider. I'm warning you, second brother and second daughter-in-law. If you still can't tell right from wrong and try to sow discord in the family, get out of here. I don't want ungrateful people. As for third brother and you, third daughter-in-law, behave yourself. If you want to get involved in this kind of thing again, get out of here. Grandpa Shen was serious. He was furious. So, the two Shen brothers knelt down immediately. Huang Yu did not move. Third daughter-in-law was shocked too. She knelt down immediately. This is my territory. Can't I control my people? Father, I've been in the Shen family for so many years. How much have I done for the Shen family? Rong Junhan was heartbroken. You did it for the Shen family? Your brother caused trouble in the past and got one of his legs broken. He was locked up in the detention center. Who helped him get out? The Rong family almost went bankrupt 3 times. Who helped you get through that? Who was the one who got the land to build your dance school? Do you dare to say that you didn't get anything from the Shen family? Rong Junhan was stunned. How would Grandpa Shen know about this? It was second elder Shen who had helped him with all these things. Is there anything that I don't know about in this family? I was wondering why second brother and second sister had helped eldest brother to repay eldest brother's kindness for taking care of him all these years. Third daughter-in-law sneered. Shut up, all of you. I've already said the ugly words. When Mu Chi-Chi comes to the Shen family in the future, you must be polite. If you bully her again, you don't need to call me your father anymore. Just call Rong Junhan your sister-in-law. His words were harsh enough, and Grandpa Xing did not want to see his children's faces at all. He waved at Chi-Chi. Xiao Qi, come with Grandpa. After Mu Chi-Chi got rid of the 2 men, she walked to Grandpa Shen and held him. Grandpa. Come with me to the study. I'm sick of looking at these people. Grandpa Shen brought Mu Chi-Chi away. It was a warning to the Shen family. Especially third daughter-in-law. She said to Huang Yu and Rong Junhan after Grandpa Shen left. We wanted to capture eldest brother's daughter and humiliate her when father was not around. But we didn't expect that father played us. He made you fall into his trap. We didn't come for nothing. Otherwise, we would have missed a good show. Then, third brother and third daughter-in-law went back to their room. Only Huang Yu helped Rong Junhan up. Eldest sister, don't be sad. Don't take father's words to heart. I'm fine. But you, father said something so cruel. You must forgive him. Otherwise, I will be a sinner. Rong Junhan was referring to Grandpa Shen, saying that Huang Yu's father was a murderer. Huang Yu shook her head. Although she was shocked at that moment, she still reflected on herself after that. It seemed that it was too much to ask of Mu Chi-Chi. It's fine. Let Mu Chi-Chi go for now. There will be more chances in the future. She won't be so lucky next time. I don't believe that Grandpa Shen can protect her at any time. After entering the study, Grandpa Shen sat on the chair alone. He was sulking. Mu Chi-Chi walked to Grandpa Shen and said helplessly, I wouldn't have come if I knew that you would be so angry. Grandpa, I know that you are drinking tea at Xing Mansion. Of course, I know that you know. Xing Xiao told you, said Grandpa Shen. The old man replied, silly girl, you knew that you would be wronged if I tested them, yet you still dared to come here alone. If I didn't come, I wouldn't be able to vent my anger. How uncomfortable would it be? Mu Chi-Chi smiled. Moreover, I'm fine. You heard it just now. I didn't let them take advantage of me. Chapter 167. Then why are you so protective of me? Speaking of this, Grandpa Shen looked at Muchichi and thought of Shen Jianchuan. I believe in you because you have been through so many hardships, but you still insist on being yourself. This state of mind is commendable. You and eldest brother are both my good children. In the future, you should come to the Shen family. This is also your home. With Grandpa Shen around, they will not dare to do anything to you. Muchichi nodded and held Grandpa Shen's hand. Don't be angry. How can you protect me if you hurt your health? And, Grandpa, you and Dad should be careful. I know what you are worried about. Little girl, you are thinking too much. Grandpa Shen smiled happily. He felt that it was worth it to be angry just now. It was because Muchichi knew that Shen Jianchuan had been hurt twice. And the person who bumped into her father might be Rong Junhan. Grandpa Shen made Rong Junhan suffer in the Shen family today. Maybe she was going to do the same thing again for some reason. Muchichi did not dare to take the risk. You are tired. You should rest now. I will leave after you rest. Forget it. You should go back. Jing Yun is still waiting for you outside. Speaking of which, this Sheng Xiao is really a good friend. Old Master Shen patted Muchichi's hand and said, I'm still healthy now. Don't be afraid. Muchichi and Grandpa Shen looked at each other and nodded. All right. I will go home now. Grandpa Shen blinked. He was no longer as fierce as he was just now. He had become a kind old man again. Other than her aunt, this was the second family member who could treat her sincerely. Muchichi only hoped that Grandpa Shen could live a long life. After that, Muchichi left the Shen family. Maybe it was because of Grandpa Shen's scolding. So, the Shens did not deliberately make things difficult for her anymore. Although they still looked at her with disgust. Muchichi left the Shen family's courtyard and got into the car parked outside. But, Jing Yun was no longer there. Sheng Xiao had taken his place. I could feel the intensity in the hall even when I was outside. Grandpa came back just in time. I'm not hurt, Muchichi replied. Of course. He arrived not long after you went in. The old fox was watching the show at the door. So, there's nothing for me to do. Sheng Xiao patted Muchichi's head. I'll feel more secure with more people protecting you. Xiao Xiao. But in terms of words, I might suffer a little. How about it? Do you regret that I let you return to the Shen family? Muchichi quickly shook her head. You don't know how grateful I am. In the past, I had a father and a grandfather, but I felt like I had nothing. Now that I've regained what I lost, and it's with sincerity, I suddenly feel that I'm the happiest person in the world, especially. I have you. Seeing the passion in her eyes, Sheng Xiao pinched her chin and smiled. Little one, your mouth is getting sweeter. I'm just worried about the safety of Dad and Grandpa. Your grandfather is a veteran. What can escape his eyes? Sheng Xiao snorted. Then, he started the car and drove Muchichi home. On the way back, Sheng Xiao thought of Jing Yun's investigation. Jing Yun found out about the old dean. But, it's a pity that he has passed away. And, his daughter is involved in it. But, she told Jing Yun that the woman who bumped into your father is called Tong Shui. Not Rong Junhan. I suspect that it's a fake name. But, we need evidence. Let's see if Rong Junhan has used the name Tong Shui for anything else. Muchichi looked at Sheng Xiao. She felt that this man was really meticulous. He could even be a policeman. Xiao Xiao, thank you so much, Special Assistant. Why? Are you worried? Yes, I'm worried. Who asked him to be your special assistant? Sheng Xiao glanced at her and snorted. Then, he stopped talking. But, when should we tell Grandpa about this? If this is really Rong Junhan's doing, then we can't imagine how deep this woman's bottom line is. She might do anything. I will ask Jing Yun to find all the evidence before the wedding. Mu Qiqi trusted Xing Xiao. So, she trusted Jing Yun too. But that night, Rong Junhan was furious after she was slapped by Grandpa Shen. She used to have a good relationship with the Shen family. But because of Mu Qiqi's appearance, everything changed. Then, she thought of Mu Tongxue. So, she went to the dance school to look for her. Mu Tongxue was hidden by Rong Junhan. She was asked to imitate Mu Qiqi. And she must look exactly like Mu Qiqi. And recently, Rong Junhan even brought her to get a mole for a tattoo. Actually, Mu Tongxue did not want herself to be like Mu Qiqi. She was not Mu Qiqi's shadow. But, she had to obey Rong Junhan for her own survival. Otherwise, there would be no place for her in this big world. They probably thought that the tattoo on Mu Qiqi's ear was done randomly. But, they did not know that it was Xing Zhao's name. When you are ready, I will bring you to Shen Jianchuan. He is the first obstacle you have to pass. Shen Jianchuan had just woken up. Moreover, he had been sleeping for so many years. His brain should not be working so well. It should not be difficult to fool him. But, in fact, she did not know how smart Shen Jianchuan was. The next day, Mu Qiqi called Qianqian early in the morning. Because Qianqian was worried about the result of her going to the Shen family. She did not want Mu Qiqi to be bullied. But, after listening to Mu Qiqi's exciting part, she felt very happy. That Rong guy is really arrogant. But then again, Qiqi, I have nothing to say about Grandpa Shen's treatment of you. It can be said that he has made up for the lack of familial love that you have lacked in the past 10 years. How are you now? You have vented your anger yesterday. What's next? I have taught the scumbag a lesson. Now, it's the scumbag's turn, said Lu Qianqian. No, it should be the whole Duan family. Think about it. Duan Xiao and I have been together for so many years. How can his parents not know about it? But, they have never disciplined Duan Xiao and. Don't they have any responsibility? They only know how to ask my parents for help every day. They use Duan Xiao and as a bargaining chip. Now, that bargaining chip is worthless to me. Let's see if the Duan family will panic or not. No matter what happened in the past, it will be the result now. The Duan family will definitely come and beg you, said Mu Qiqi. Wasn't that what a rich family was like? It was always about benefits. Chapter 168. Mu Qiqi was right. The Duan family was shocked and they found out about Lu Qianqian's attitude. Qianqian had always tolerated her son's misdeeds outside. So, they thought that Lu Qianqian was just throwing a tantrum this time. Who knew that the Lu family's lawyer would soon come and terminate all cooperation? When Papa Duan knew about it, he scolded Duan Xiao and asked Mama Duan to bring Duan Xiao and to the Lu family to apologize. So, mother and son arrived at the Lu family early in the morning. Qianqian, that mother and son have been waiting downstairs for almost 2 hours. Are you really not going to go down and meet them? Mama Lu crossed her arms and watched Lu Qianqian dress up in her room. I used to follow Duan Xiao and like a dog. What's wrong with asking him to wait now? Lu Qianqian said nonchalantly. If you don't want them to wait, just say that I'm not here. Mama Lu patted Lu Qianqian's shoulder. My daughter has really grown up. Mommy, don't worry. Lu Qianqian turned around and held Mama Lu's hand. I won't let you worry anymore. Since they are not important, let's not meet them. What's the big deal? Having said that, Mama Lu went downstairs and returned to the living room. She said to Mama Duan, I'm sorry, Mrs. Duan. I went upstairs to call Qianqian again just now and realized that she was not at home. It's my fault for making you wait for so long. I'm sorry. Please go back. In fact, everyone knew that Lu Qianqian was at home. But she refused to come down. In-laws, Mrs. Duan, since Qianqian and Duan Shao and have broken off their engagement, there is no such thing as in-laws. Mama Lu corrected Mama Duan. This is a big thing in life. How can it be broken off just like that? Mama Lu's eyes changed color when she heard that. In the Lu family, she was more arrogant than Papa Lu. In the past, she tolerated her daughter because she liked her daughter. Now that her daughter did not like her, how could she spoil her? We won't talk about all the affairs your son has had outside. I've told Qianqian many times before. Why do you want such a man? She was very persistent. All right, I'll wait and see. I didn't expect your son to be even more powerful. He's engaged to my Qianqian, and he's living with another woman. He even caused my daughter to have a miscarriage. If I had given birth to this beast, I would have kicked it to death. Trash, what's the point of living in this world? Qianqian used to give in to him, didn't she? Your whole family thinks that the Lu family owes you, right? Now, my daughter doesn't like him anymore. I'll get someone to buy firecrackers and set them up at the door. Mama Lu's words certainly did not spare the other party any face. What was the point of sparing him? Mama Duan's expression was unusually ugly. But she had to endure it. Mrs. Lu, please let me see Qianqian. Perhaps she will change her mind? Mama Lu sneered and nodded. I told you, she's out. Since you want to see her, keep waiting. I have other things to do, so I won't keep you company. She's just a used shoe. She cancelled the engagement with me. Who else would want her? Duan Shao and muttered to himself. But in fact, it represented the Duan family's thoughts. Qianqian's miscarriage had become a big deal. Everyone in the circle knew about it. How could Qianqian get married? But Qianqian did not want to see them. So, the Duan family and Mama Duan waited in the Lu family's house for the whole day with an empty stomach until Papa Lu came home at night. Finally, at dinner time, Lu Qianqian came downstairs. When Duan Shao and saw her, he went up to her and said, Do you know you've made me and my mother wait for the whole day? Did I beg you to wait? Lu Qianqian chuckled. Lu Qianqian, that's enough. Lu Qianqian shook off Duan Shao and pushed him away. Who's messing with you? Our engagement has been cancelled. Why are you still here in the Lu family? Don't tell me you really think that I won't marry anyone but you? Yes, I did have a miscarriage. Everyone in the circle is laughing at me. But so what? At most, I won't get married. I'm the daughter of a rich family. I eat well and play well. Why must I need a man? After saying that, Lu Qianqian looked at Papa Lu and said, Dad, hurry up and cut ties with the Duan family. I don't want to see anyone from the Duan family. My dear daughter, I have asked the lawyers to handle it. In 3 days, the Duan family will be declared bankrupt. Papa Lu took off his coat and said to Lu Qianqian. Can't it be faster? Lu Qianqian walked to Papa Lu and said coquettishly. Is that so? Then I will make a few more calls later and send more lawyers. Papa Lu hugged Lu Qianqian and said, Why can't my daughter get married? Mama Duan and Duan Shao An's expressions were very interesting. The Duan family bullied you. I won't let them get away with it. Don't worry. Lu Qianqian tilted her head and looked at Duan Shao An. Did you hear that? Do you really think that the Duan family will lose without you? I don't think so. I will. Mama Duan and Duan Shao and did not expect that they would be snubbed by the Lu family. So, they left the Lu family dejectedly. Lu Qianqian watched them leave and snorted coldly. Dad, do you think we can make the Duan family go bankrupt? Duan Shao An's father is not made for business. If it were not for the Lu family support, the family would have gone bankrupt long ago. What do you think? Papa Lu patted Lu Qianqian's head. My dear daughter, I am afraid that you won't be able to do it. Dad, it's time to throw away the old things. That's good. Just wait and see. What about Mama Duan and Duan Xiaoan? When they got home, they complained, Lu Qianqian, that bitch, has been hiding all day. Not only that, she even humiliated me and Mom. So, what did you do when I asked you to sue for peace? Papa Duan slapped Duan Xiao, and when he heard what he said. If it were not for you, would Qianqian hate you so much? Would the Lu family take revenge on the Duan family like this? Dad, just wait and see. Based on the Lu family's speed, they will withdraw all the money they invested in the Duan family in a few days. Really? Is there no way to save it? Mama Duan did not want to stick her warm face to the Lu family's cold buttocks. The Lu family has tried their best all these years. Papa Duan said. Then, he looked at Duan Xiao and fiercely. In order to deal with the bankruptcy, Xiao An's villa, sports car and everything valuable will be confiscated. Dad. Chapter 169. Papa Duan was a man of his words. Duan Xiaoan had nothing in one night. He had promised Bai Xinlan yesterday that he would bring her to order a ring. But now, he had less than 100 yuan. He had nothing. However, he believed that Bai Xinlan truly liked him. She would not mind whether he had these worldly possessions or not. So, early in the morning, he still went to Enchanting University. But this time, he did not drive. Bai Xinlan asked him, why didn't you drive? There was a small problem. Duan Xiaoan touched his nose and answered. Let's go. I have already made an appointment with the designer. Let's go and order the ring now. Duan Xiaoan did not say anything. He went to the jewelry store with Bai Xinlan. If it was in the past, he would not even bat an eye at such a price. But now, he had no money at all. Bai Xinlan seemed to be very happy. She kept exchanging ideas with the designer. But when it came to the price, Duan Xiaoan's expression was very unnatural. But Bai Xinlan did not notice it. Miss Bai, this is the bill. Do you want to pay by card or cash? Bai Xinlan took the bill and passed it to Duan Xiaoan. But Duan Xiaoan did not move. What's wrong? Xinlan. Actually, I have no money. Duan Xiaoan could not pretend anymore. He had to tell Bai Xinlan the truth. Bai Xinlan's face changed when she heard it. What nonsense are you talking about? You are the young master of the Duan family. How can you not have money? When the jewelry store designer saw the two of them like this, he knew that today's work was for nothing, so he rolled his eyes and left. Duan Xiaoan took a deep breath. In order not to let more people laugh at him, he pulled Bai Xinlan and hurriedly walked out of the jewelry shop. Xinlan, actually my car and everything else have been taken back by my father. What do you mean? Our family might go bankrupt because, Bai Xinlan was stunned when she heard the word bankrupt. Because of Lu Qianqian? Yes. The Lu family is going to destroy our family. Duan Xiaoan admitted honestly. Then you should have told us earlier. If you had told us that you have no money, we would not have come here to embarrass ourselves. Bai Xinlan said angrily. Do you know how embarrassed I was just now? Xianlan, you said that you like being with me. Save it. Why would I want to be with you if I don't have money? Bai Xinlan pushed Duan Xiaoan's hand away and hailed a taxi. She had never thought that Lu Qianqian would be so ruthless. First, she had made her unable to behave in school. Now, she had cut off the Duan family's livelihood in the business world. It seemed that she had encountered a tough nut to crack this time. Only by leaving early could one protect themselves. Duan Xiaoan thought that Bai Xinlan was angry, so he took a taxi to school and waited for her in class. But Bai Xinlan was not in the mood to talk to him. Her contact list was full of rich people. Why did she want to be with this poor guy? Soon, there were rumors in the school. I heard that Bai Xinlan's rich boyfriend's family went bankrupt. Didn't you see him taking a taxi to school recently? What's going on? What gossip? I heard that it was her boyfriend's fiancé's family who did it to avenge her daughter. How ruthless. They deserve it. That's what they deserve. Bai Xinlan saw that they had no money, so she tried to avoid them. She is too practical. I hope that Bai Xinlan will die. Mu Qiqi had heard a lot of such rumors, but she just smiled. After all, beasts were not worthy of sympathy. It also showed how determined Xianxian was to make the Duan family collapse overnight. Especially when she saw Duan Shao and coming to stop Bai Xinlan a few times. But Bai Xinlan ignored him. That scene was so satisfying. She would be happy if Duan Shao and was completely destroyed. Soon, the class was over. Mu Qiqi walked out of the lab. She was about to call Xing Shao to tell him that she was at the south gate of the school. But Duan Shao and stopped her. Mu Qiqi was stunned. She put away her phone and looked at Duan Shao and. Why do you like to come to me? Because you are good friends with Lu Qianqian. Duan Shao and was dispirited. He had lost his source of income and his status. Now, he was just a poor guy. He looked miserable. Tell me what you want. I want to go home. Can't you ask Lu Qianqian to let me go? I have nowhere to go now. I have no other way. Even if I know that you will not help me, I still want to try. You are right. I will not help you, Mu Qiqi said coldly. Then, she wanted to walk past Duan Shao and. But Duan Shao and grabbed her arm. Let go. I won't let go. At this moment, a black car suddenly appeared at the gate of the school. The man in the driver's seat saw Mu Qiqi being grabbed and quickly rolled down the window. Although he was wearing sunglasses, his temperament and appearance could easily expose his identity. He asked Duan Shao and directly, "Do you want to die a worse death?" Duan Shao and turned around. When he saw Xing Shao, he quickly let go. Because he knew that the Lu family would only make his family bankrupt. But Xing Shao could hang him in the forest and starve him for 3 days and 3 nights. If you want to live, you should go to the Lu family and apologize to them. It's useless to catch my people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Duan Shao and immediately bowed and apologized to Xing Shao. In the future, you better stay at least 10 meters away from my Qiqi. Otherwise, I will take action. Duan Shao and was frightened. He quickly raised his hands and surrendered. Then, he ran away from the two. Mu Qiqi saw that Duan Shao and was so afraid of Xing Shao. She smiled and got into Xing Shao's car. I was stopped when I was about to call you. Although I warned Duan Shao and, you must be careful in case he does something desperate. I know. Mu Qiqi nodded. It seems that the Lu family has given him a big blow. You don't have to waste your time on this kind of person. After dinner, I will send you to the hospital to see your father. Xing Shao did not want to waste any more words on Duan Shao and. Okay. Mu Qiqi nodded. She had not seen her father for a few days. But she did not know that Rong Junhan had planned to let Mu Tangxue appear in front of Shen Jianchuan tonight. Chapter 170. It was 7:00 at night when Mu Qiqi arrived at the hospital with Su Zipei's chicken soup. Rong Junhan was in the ward. When she saw Mu Qiqi, she said to Shen Jianchuan as if nothing had happened, I will go to the small kitchen in the hospital to prepare dinner for you. In fact, Rong Junhan hated Mu Qiqi because of what happened in the Shen family that day. Another reason was that she had to prepare the clothes for Mu Tangxue. Shen Jianchuan nodded but his eyes followed Mu Qiqi. After Rong Junhan left, Mu Qiqi let her guard down. She said to Shen Jianchuan, Father, are you okay? Shen Jianchuan felt Mu Qiqi's caring gaze. He nodded slightly and expressed his thoughts with simple words. Very good. Did Aunt Rong bully you? Shen Jianchuan shook his head when he heard Mu Qiqi's question. That's good. Actually, Mu Qiqi did not believe what Shen Jianchuan said. But she was still not sure about her father's character. So, she was afraid that he would be deceived by Rong Junhan. Shen Jianchuan was satisfied as long as he could see his daughter. No matter how difficult the rehabilitation was, he had the courage to overcome it. Shen Jianchuan looked at his daughter carefully because she looked very much like Su Ziqing when she was young. However, when he saw the tattoo on her left earlobe, he could not help but ask, "This tattoo looks like a person's name. Is it?" Mu Qiqi was stunned for a moment. She did not expect her father to see through her. But it was only for a moment. She put away her surprise and answered Shen Jianchuan, "It's my savior. In order to express my respect and admiration for him, and also to remind myself to live a good life, I tattooed it on my ear." Shen Jianchuan's eyes were full of pity and helplessness. "It's all my fault. No, it has nothing to do with you." Mu Qiqi smiled and said, "If you really feel sorry for me, please get well soon, okay?" Shen Jianchuan drank the chicken soup that his daughter fed him with satisfaction. Then, he listened to Mu Qiqi talking about what happened in the Shen family that day. But in the end, he couldn't communicate like a normal person, so the father and daughter didn't talk much. Mu Qiqi stayed in the hospital for an hour. Then, she left the hospital. Then, Rong Junhan came into the ward with dinner. "Did you leave?" Shen Jianchuan nodded. "Qiqi still needs to be taught properly in the future." Shen Jianchuan did not reply because Grandpa Shen and Mu Qiqi had told him everything that happened in the Shen family. He did not know if Mu Qiqi needed to be taught, but he knew very well how vicious Rong Junhan was. Whenever they had the chance, they would try to bully Mu Qiqi. Most of the reason was because Mu Qiqi was too similar to Su Ziqing. Very soon, Shen Jianchuan finished his dinner. A moment later, that familiar face appeared outside the ward again. Rong Junhan saw Mu Qiqi again. She asked, "Why are you back?" "I left something behind, so I came to look for it." Rong Junhan snorted softly. She did not say anything. Anyway, that was how she treated Mu Qiqi. And this Mu Qiqi walked to Shen Jianchuan's bedside and sat down again. "Father," Shen Jianchuan looked at his daughter lovingly. But he had a strong feeling that this daughter's gaze was very different from the one he met just now. Mu Qiqi's gaze was firm and confident just now. But this Mu Qiqi's gaze was flickering with uneasiness. Although they looked exactly the same, Shen Jianchuan could still see the subtle differences between them. After all, every time Mu Qiqi came, he would take a few more glances at his daughter. He knew how she was like and what kind of expressions she liked to make. Then, Shen Jianchuan deliberately looked at Mu Qiqi's earlobe. He saw her tattoo again. He asked, "Why did you tattoo a few letters on your ear? Is there any special meaning?" Mu Tangxue touched her earlobe. Then, she answered, "There is no special meaning. It just looks nice." Shen Jianchuan knew the answer. But he did not show it. He treated Mu Qiqi the same way he treated her. He said, "What did you leave behind? Hurry up and look for it." "The key to the house." Mu Tangxue looked around quickly. Then, she bent down and pretended to find it beside Shen Jianchuan's bed. "Oh my God. I thought I lost it. It's too late now. You should go back and rest. Qiqi, can you come to the hospital again this weekend to visit me? He's doing his rehabilitation today. I need some encouragement." "Of course." Mu Tangxue was delighted. Did it mean that she had passed the test when Shen Jianchuan said that to her? Rong Junhan signaled her to leave. She had performed well tonight. If she did not look closely, she could not even tell the difference between Mu Qiqi and Mu Tangxue, let alone Shen Jianchuan. But, how would they know? Even if they looked exactly the same, Mu Tangxue could not really imitate Mu Qiqi. Because the eyes could not lie. Then, there was the breath. If Mu Tangxue pretended to be deaf and dumb and just stood there quietly, perhaps they would believe her. But once she opened her mouth, everything would be exposed. Moreover, Shen Jianchuan had confirmed it with the tattoo. Mu Qiqi said that the tattoo represented her benefactor's name. She used this method to express her admiration for her benefactor. But Mu Tangxue said that there was no meaning to it. It was just to look good. So, Shen Jianchuan and Mu Tangxue agreed to meet on the weekend. He wanted Grandpa Shen to inform Mu Tangxue so that she could come to the hospital too. He wanted to see how Mu Tangxue could justify herself by then. Of course, he also wanted to see Rong Junhan's reaction. Rong Junhan left the hospital not long after Mu Tangxue left. She smiled coldly when she saw Mu Tangxue waiting for her in the garage. "You're still useful. I did not raise you for nothing. So, what should we do next?" It's easy for Shen Jianchuan. But it's not easy to deceive the other Shens, especially Grandpa Shen. Of course, you don't have to appear in front of them. You just need to listen to my arrangements and create trouble for them. Shen Jianchuan asked you to come to the hospital on the weekend. You can go for another checkup to see if there's anything wrong with your body. This is a good opportunity. You did well tonight. Did well? Did Rong Junhan really think that Shen Jianchuan believed her? The next morning, Shen Jianchuan asked the nurse to contact Grandpa Shen. He wanted to meet him. Grandpa Shen avoided the Shens and went to the hospital. He heard from Shen Jianchuan about the real and fake Mu Chichi last night. Then, he snorted angrily. Rong Junhan should not be underestimated. Does she think that we don't know what she wants to do by using Mu Tangxue? Chapter 171. Grandpa Shen looked at Shen Jianchuan. He pointed at him and smiled. You are still the same as before. He was sharp and smart. Even though he had been asleep for many years, he was still clear-headed. Father, we can't let Mu Chichi get hurt again. I know. I will make the arrangements. Then, Grandpa Shen told Mu Chichi and Xing Xiao about this interesting incident. Mu Chichi was actually very surprised after hearing that. After all, even the Mu family couldn't tell the difference between her and Mu Tangxue at times, let alone the fact that Mu Tangxue was pretending to be her. How could her father tell? Xing Xiao saw that she was confused. So, he said, I told you that your father is different from the others in the Shen family. Do you believe me now? Mu Chichi remembered that Shen Jianchuan had asked her about the tattoo last night. She subconsciously touched the tattoo. Last night, Dad guessed that this tattoo of mine was a person's name. So, I told him that it was the name of the person I admire the most. He did not ask much. Mu Chichi was stunned. Xing Xiao smiled when he heard the word admire. How much do you admire him? Don't mess around. Mu Chichi held his warm hand. Did Dad figure it out because of this? No matter how he did it, at least we know that he did not fall into Mu Tangxue and Rong Junhan's trap. Don't you worry about your father now? He is not a person who needs to be taken care of as much as you think. Xing Xiao knew that Mu Chichi was worried about Grandpa Shen and Shen Jianchuan. It was because she knew how it felt to be framed. She did not want the people closest to her to be tortured. Although, Shen Jianchuan had been framed and persecuted. Okay. Mu Chichi nodded. Since father has made the arrangements, then we just need to wait for the show. I want to see how Mu Tangxue can imitate me. Humph. Xing Xiao kissed Mu Chichi on her lips. She can imitate your charm. But, she can't imitate your taste. Pfft, Mu Chichi blushed. This man always liked to tease her regardless of the occasion. These few days, it was not only the Shen family that was bustling with activity. Bai Xinlan and Duan Shao and's matter was also a hot topic in Enchanting University. Bai Xinlan was obviously unwilling to be with Duan Shao, but Duan Shao did not give up. He was full of affection for his mistress. It was a pity that this mistress only wanted to live a materialistic life. Without money, what else could she do? Hence, Duan Shao was now a joke in Enchanting University. He had tried all kinds of ways to stop Bai Xinlan, but he had never succeeded. The people in the school had been envious of him in the beginning, but now they hated him. It was clear that the attention they paid to scum like him had lost its novelty. Bai Xinlan was even more annoyed. She had finally found a rich man, but Duan Shao and kept pestering her. She had to think of a way to get rid of this poor man. Soon, Duan Shao and saw Bai Xinlan near the school. There was a black luxury car picking her up. Duan Shao and was furious. He chased after the car and stopped it. He wanted to drag Bai Xinlan out of the car. But the person in the car pushed him away. Are you crazy? Xinlan, come home with me. Are you crazy? We were just fooling around. Why can't you understand? I was only after your money. You are an idiot. Do you really think that I am as loyal to you as your stupid fiancé? Let me tell you, Duan Shaoan. When I was with you, I had 3 other men. Before I slept with you, I even had a threesome with them. The driver in front of Bai Xinlan was stunned when he heard this. How could his boss be so casual with his woman? Duan Shaoan took a few steps back. He could not believe it. The way you are now is no different from when you hurt your fiancé. The way I treat you now is the way you used to treat her. Duan Shaoan, you deserve to be left with nothing. Bai Xinlan was about to close the car door. But Duan Shaoan took out a dagger from his pocket and stabbed it at Bai Xinlan. Bai Xinlan screamed and dodged. So the dagger did not stab into her vital organs. Instead, it stabbed into her shoulder. Blood spurted out. The driver was shocked too. He quickly drove away. Duan Shaoan's eyes were bloodshot. He could not catch up with Bai Xinlan. But the bystanders had already called the police. After the attack, Duan Shaoan dropped the dagger in his hand and fell to the ground. Not long after, the police arrived. They handcuffed Duan Shaoan and took him away. Duan Shaoan's parents received a call from the police. Duan Shaoan's mother was shocked. What are you waiting for? Go to the police station. The Lu family was settling the score with the Duan family. So, there were not many people who were willing to help the Duan family. Now that Duan Shaoan was in trouble, Papa Duan did not have the ability to ask for help. He could only sigh. It's karma. It's that bastard's karma. Soon, the Lu family heard about Duan Shaoan's attack on the street. Mama Lu felt a chill down her spine. Luckily, Qianqian did not keep in touch with this murderer. Otherwise, Qianqian would be in danger. Lu Qianqian also heard about Duan Shaoan and Bai Xinlan. Now, she could only say that the 2 of them deserved it. After Duan Shaoan was arrested, Bai Xinlan was not any better. Although Duan Shaoan did not stab into her vital organs, her arm was temporarily crippled. She did not dare to move at all. After she entered the hospital, she cried and screamed. The driver called his boss in the hospital and told him what had happened. When the boss heard that Duan Shaoan was so extreme, he immediately asked his driver to leave Bai Xinlan and do nothing. So, there was no one to take care of Bai Xinlan in the hospital, these scumbags. They only care about money and not people. Wasn't this a reflection of herself? It seemed that there was nothing wrong with being treated like this. I will sue Duan Shaoan. I will sue the Duan family until they go bankrupt. After the incident, Lu Qianqian did not want to see Duan Shaoan anymore. Because there was no need to see him. Instead, she wanted to see Bai Xinlan. This woman didn't seem to realize that her doom was about to befall her. Qianqian told Mu Qiqi the news over the phone. But Xing Xiao was not surprised at all when he heard about it. The 18-year-old Duan Shaoan was obviously not willing to be toyed with and lose everything. So, whenever Bai Xinlan said something extreme, he would lose control. Chapter 172. Duan Shaoan is not worthy of sympathy. But his parents have to suffer with him. I can't help but sigh. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and smiled. Everyone has their own fate. I always thought that you are a person who doesn't believe in fate. I am telling you that you don't need to worry about other people's business. Sure enough, it was Sheng Zhao's style. He would not pity Duan Shao and's parents because they lost their son after they went bankrupt. It was because they had sown the seeds. If they had not spoiled Duan Shao and so much and allowed him to do whatever he wanted, they would not end up like this. Thinking of this, Mu Qiqi felt that Qianqian would feel better. Lu Qianqian sent someone to find out which hospital Bai Xinlan was in. She went to Bai Xinlan's ward as she had some free time. However, after Bai Xinlan's injured arm was bandaged, she could be considered to have come back to life. When she saw Lu Qianqian at the door, she thought that her eyes were playing tricks on her. But in the next second, she calmed down. "Miss Lu, are you here to persuade me not to sue Duan Shaoan? Isn't this a good chance for you to get him back? Do you think I am like you? I have thrown away the rubbish and I still want to get it back." Lu Qianqian took off her sunglasses and sat on the sofa in Bai Xinlan's ward. "Since you are not here for Duan Shaoan, I don't understand why you still want to see me. I am seriously injured. Is it not enough to appease your anger?" Lu Qianqian smiled. "I did not cause your injury. Why should I appease my anger? Tell me, what do you want? To be honest, you have a miscarriage. In other people's eyes, you and a flirtatious woman are the same. But we are both fallen women. I really can't think of any tricks you can come up with to deal with me. That is because you are poor. So, your imagination is limited. Rich people have many tricks. For example, me." Lu Qianqian turned on her phone. "I just spent some time to investigate all the men you have been with these years and told their wives about you. Not many. Just about 20 of them." Bai Xinlan's face changed when she heard this. "By the way, kindly tell them your phone number, information, home address, and so on. Take a guess. Will you be torn apart?" "Lu Qianqian, why are you pretending? Aren't you happy that I dumped Duan Shaoan?" Lu Qianqian chuckled. Then, she replied to Bai Xinlan, "Yes, it feels good. But it doesn't change the fact that you've interfered in my relationship and indirectly caused my child to miscarry." With that, Lu Qianqian looked at her watch. "It's almost time. I guess those rich ladies are coming soon." Having said that, Lu Qianqian got up and left Bai Xinlan's ward. Then, she bumped into the rich ladies who came looking for trouble at the door. They looked at Lu Qianqian and asked, "Are you here to settle the score with the asterisk shoal too?" "She's inside." Lu Qianqian pointed. The two of them stormed into the ward. Soon, Lu Qianqian heard the sound of someone slapping her face. Among those men who had interfered with Bai Xinlan, some of them were from powerful families in Jianchuan. Bai Xinlan's fate was foreseeable. With how shameless Bai Xinlan was, she should be dead for hundreds of times in the wilderness. Lu Qianqian sneered. Then, she left the hospital. The scumbags and the B** cheese were all dead now. She wanted to continue her life. On the other hand, Jing Yun was investigating Rong Junhan. He wanted to know if she had used the name Tong Shui for other things. So, Jing Yun asked his friend in the police station to investigate if there were any suitable candidates in Jianchuan. The police did not find any criminal records about Tong Shui. So, Jing Yun tried to investigate in another direction. In the end, he got a shocking and exciting news. So, after the meeting in Huangyao, Jing Yun put the result on Xing Zhao's desk. "Young master, there are thousands of Tong Shui in the world. There are hundreds of candidates in Jianchuan. So, I've been investigating for a long time. I've also used many connections. But, I didn't find anything. So, I decided to investigate this one." Xing Zhao opened the document and saw the copy of the business license. It was a jewelry company called Xingrong. The legal representative was Tong Shui. And one of the shareholders was Shen Lin. Others might not know who he was, but Xing Zhao knew that he was Shen Qiqi's second uncle, Shen Jinyan's son. I didn't expect that the relationship between Second Shen and Rong Junhan was not only because of kindness, but also because of this. With such evidence in the testimony of the dean's daughter, can we prove that Rong Junhan had hurt young Master Shen a second time in the past? Xing Xiao shook his head. His eyes looked deep. What if Rong Junhan said that there was only one Tong Shui? We can't rule out this possibility. Then, what should we do? Think of a way to prove it. Xing Xiao put down the document and tilted his head. He looked lazy. Second Shen has been holding a high position all these years. He's a late bloomer. I'm afraid he's even closer to Rong Junhan than Grandpa Shen. I wonder how he would feel when he knows that he has acknowledged a traitor as his father. This woman is really interesting. She hid it well. So, we just need to keep digging. She will give us more surprises. Xing Xiao stood up from the sofa. Let's hide this first. Rong Junhan still wants to use Mu Tangxue to stir up trouble. We must think of a way to get rid of Mu Tangxue. This time, we must get rid of her once and for all. I don't want her to appear in front of Qi, or all the time. It's disgusting. What do you want to do, young master? Xing Xiao looked at Jing Yun meaningfully. Then, he smiled devilishly. Let Mu Qiqi vent her anger first. Then, go to Brother Shen's ward and have some fun. Let's put on a show. Then, Xing Xiao hooked his finger at Jing Yun. Then, he whispered something into his ear. In fact, Mu Qiqi was looking forward to the weekend. She wanted to see how well Mu Tangxue could imitate her. Moreover, she wanted to see what Rong Junhan could achieve with her scheming. What would happen after she deceived Shen Jianchuan? But sadly, Mu Tangxue's acting skills were not effective against Shen Jianchuan at all. At night, Xing Xiao finished his work. When he was about to go to school to pick Mu Qiqi up, he received a call from Jing Yun. Mama Sheng had gone to the villa again. So, Xing Xiao asked Uncle Lin to bring Mu Qiqi home while he went to deal with his mother. Mu Qiqi knew that Xing Xiao had something to do when she saw Uncle Lin. So, she did not ask anything. She went straight to the villa and had dinner with her aunt. Chapter 173. Mama Sheng had come to her son's turf because of her quarrel with Papa Sheng. Moreover, she was anxious about her son's condition, and wanted to check if Xing Xiao had a woman. So, she decided to stay in the mansion for a few days. There's no smell of women in this place. Jing Yun, is your young master? Xing Xiao saw his mother trying to get information out of Jing Yun when he entered the house. Young master, Mom, Jing Yun is just following my orders. Why do you have to trouble a log? Xing Xiao sat on the sofa lazily. You can't hold it in anymore? You have to let me know what kind of woman you found, don't you? Mama Sheng looked at her son helplessly. You've done a good job keeping it a secret. I'm very anxious. I'm just messing around. Xing Xiao said half-truths, wanting to see Mama Sheng's reaction. Mama Sheng chuckled and sat beside Xing Xiao. She knew her son very well. He had been rebellious since he was young, but he had his own bottom line. Even if you're messing around, there should be someone like that around, right? Mom, you should go back. I'll let you see her in 3 months. Xing Xiao promised. Really? Mama Sheng's eyes were already shining. Really? Xing Xiao nodded. Mama Sheng knew that even if Xing Xiao liked to play tricks on people, he would always keep his word when he made a serious promise. Then let me stay for 2 days. How long has it been since I last saw my son? As you wish. With that, Xing Xiao went back to his room and texted Mu Qiqi. I'll be home late tonight. Don't wait for me, sleep by yourself. Mu Qiqi was a little disappointed when she read the message. She could not imagine what it would be like without Xing Xiao by her side. Be that as it may, was Xing Xiao someone who would be tied down by others? Mama Sheng had prepared a sumptuous dinner, but her son was nowhere to be found when she entered his room. Even Jing Yun had to leave the house out of fear of being questioned. Xing Xiao was in a relationship, but he was suffering. It was 8:00 when Xing Xiao returned to the mansion. Mu Qiqi had just come out of the small mansion and was taking a shower. Xing Xiao heard the sound of the shower and took off his shirt, pushing the door open and entering the room. Mu Qiqi was about to say something when she saw him. But just as her lips parted, Xing Xiao's kiss covered hers, urgent and ferocious. Under the shower, Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi tightly. It was convenient since he did not have to take off her clothes. Mu Qiqi couldn't stand such an urgent demand. She moaned, and in that moment, Xing Xiao pushed her against the wall and lifted her legs. Mu Qiqi was so uneasy that she quickly grabbed his arm. Didn't you say that you would return late? Xing Xiao pressed her head against the wall and pinched her chin. My little one, don't you know how attractive you are to me? Mu Qiqi blushed. She couldn't say a word because Xing Xiao increased the force of his blows as he asked. I always thought that I was the one who needed you more. Xing Xiao was furious when he heard that. If you don't realize it, don't even think about sleeping tonight. So, the battlefield moved from the bathroom to the bedroom, and then from the dressing table to the bed. Xing Xiao was full of energy. He would only stop when Mu Qiqi fell asleep. But when he saw Mu Qiqi's sleeping face, Xing Xiao hugged her in his arms and murmured, You don't know how important you are to me. Mu Qiqi didn't hear anything. She just closed her eyes in the warmest embrace. Although her body couldn't bear it, she liked Xing Xiao's endless demands deep in her heart. She liked the feeling of Xing Xiao in her body even more. Because he found out that the Shen family and the person with the identity of Tong Shui had a company together, Xing Xiao set up a trap to prove whether Tong Shui was Rong Junhan. Actually, they could get the answer quickly if they investigated the Shen family. But it would alert the enemy and make Rong Junhan cautious. So, Xing Xiao did not plan to go to the Shen family. Instead, he asked Jing Yun to set up a trap. Since they have a jewelry company, it's easy. Jing Yun, go and contact a few partners. Do me a favor. Ask to see the legal representative. Even if you can't see her, you can get her signature or voice. It's not difficult to prove it. But, young master, when do you plan to tell Grandpa Shen? And how do you plan to use this card? Xing Xiao smiled when he heard Jing Yun's question. Isn't it Sunday today? There will be a good show when Mu Qiqi goes to the hospital. And you should prepare all the documents and give Rong Junhan a big gift. I understand. It was a call from Jing Yun early in the morning. At that time, Mu Qiqi was still sleeping soundly in Xing Xiao's arms. Because it was the weekend, there was no class. So, Xing Xiao didn't wake her up. He let her sleep until noon. Xing Xiao got up and went to Huangyao. Soon, Grandpa Shen called and woke Mu Qiqi up. Xiao Qi, why are you not in the small mansion? After Mu Qiqi heard the question, she suddenly sat up on the bed. I'm outside, where are you? Grandpa will send someone to pick you up. I'm in school. Mu Qiqi responded quickly. Because Mu Tongxue had arrived at the hospital. Grandpa Shen was anxious to bring Mu Qiqi to the hospital so that the show would be more exciting. Of course, Grandpa Shen asked everyone to go to the hospital to see Rong Junhan's real face. It was the weekend after all. They had time. So, Grandpa Shen and the Shen brothers were in the same car. Mu Qiqi would arrive at the hospital alone. That would make the show more dramatic. Because of his previous experience, Shen Jianchuan could tell at a glance whether it was Mu Tongxue or Mu Qiqi who entered the ward. But, Mu Tongxue and Rong Junhan did not know that they had been exposed. And they were still acting in front of Shen Jianchuan. Rong Junhan was sure that Mu Qiqi would not come to the hospital today because Grandpa Shen told her that Mu Qiqi could not leave because of the research lab. In fact, Grandpa Shen had deliberately revealed this information to her. If he had not said this, she would have thought of a way to hold Mu Qiqi back and prevent her from appearing in the hospital. Soon, the Shen family arrived at the hospital. Second Aunt Huang Yu did not look happy when she saw Mu Qiqi. Of course, she could not tell whether it was Mu Qiqi or Mu Tongxue who was in the ward. Dad, second aunt seems to dislike me. Mu Tongxue said deliberately in front of Shen Jianchuan. I don't like you. But, you don't have to complain to your father. Huang Yu retorted. Chapter 174. Since you admit that you don't like me, why don't you let me complain in front of Dad? Are you the one who is in the right? You. Huang Yu was furious. She really wanted to slap Mu Qiqi. But they were in the ward. It was not a place where she could do whatever she wanted. I know that the Shen family doesn't like me. And Aunt Rong treats me like a stain. But what can I do? I am Dad's daughter after all. Mu Tongxue imitated Mu Qiqi's attitude and tone. She wanted to maximize the conflict between Mu Qiqi and the Shen family. At the same time, Grandpa Shen opened the door of the ward. He was stunned when he saw Mu Tongxue. Didn't you say that you can't leave the lab? I just came to see Dad. I will go back later. Mu Tongxue answered calmly. Dad, you came at the right time. Look at her. She is so arrogant in front of the elders. She doesn't act like a junior at all. How can we like her? Huang Yu seized the opportunity to complain to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen sat beside Shen Jianchuan. He pressed his hands on his knees and said nothing. He looked at his son when no one noticed. Mu Tongxue stayed silent for a few seconds. She thought that even Grandpa Shen did not recognize her. So, she completely let loose in the ward. Anyway, she was Mu Qiqi now. She could do whatever she wanted. Because of this, she was not used to seeing Huang Yu. Taking advantage of Huang Yu's words, she suddenly stepped forward and pushed Huang Yu. Huang Yu staggered and lost her balance. She fell to the ground just like that, causing everyone to be stunned. Mu Qiqi. Second elder grabbed Mu Tongxue's clothes. His eyes were almost spitting fire. How could you push your second aunt? She treated me badly. Why can't I teach her a lesson? Look, this is your fox's tail. You finally showed it. Second elder sneered. Mu Qiqi, who was so confident and disdained everything in the Shen family, can't wait to slap her own face now. Second brother, let go, old Master Shen said calmly to second brother of the Shen family. Dad. Big brother, it doesn't matter if you're happy or unhappy today. I have to teach them a lesson. At that moment, Mu Tongxue took the opportunity to bite the second elder of the Shen family, causing him to groan in pain. What can you do to me? I can't stay in this house any longer. Seeing that her husband was also injured, Huang Yu shouted, Dad, from now on, the Shen family will either have her or I. Grandpa Shen glanced at Huang Yu and snorted. Qiqi will not treat her elders like this. You've seen it with your own eyes, yet you're still trying to excuse her? Mu Tongxue raised her chin in front of Huang Yu. Obviously, she knew that Grandpa Shen would help her no matter what. But Rong Junhan cleared her throat. She signaled Mu Tongxue not to get carried away. Otherwise, Grandpa Shen might recognize her. Fortunately, Grandpa Shen did not seem to be suspicious. She's just a kid. Seeing that Grandpa Shen was determined to protect her, Huang Yu was disappointed. I, Huang Yu, have a son and a daughter. I've never seen you being so biased. Fine. If that's the case, I don't want to stay in this house anymore. I'll leave now. Then, Huang Yu turned around angrily. She opened the door of the ward and was about to leave. But, she was stunned the moment she opened the door. Because there was another Mu Qiqi at the door. Huang Yu looked at Mu Qiqi at the door. Then, she looked at the Mu Qiqi in the ward. It was almost the same. Even the tattoo and the mole were the same. This, second aunt, what's wrong? Mu Qiqi asked Huang Yu. Huang Yu snorted coldly. Suddenly, she could not understand. What are you playing at? A substitute game? Then, Huang Yu opened the door completely. Everyone was shocked. Because there were two Mukikis at the same time. Rong Juanhan's expression changed. Did she not arrange for someone to watch over her in the hospital? If the real Muchichi appeared, they would stop her. Why was Muchichi here? On the other hand, Mu Tangxue looked calm. But, in fact, her palms were sweating. Muchichi smiled and walked to Mu Tangxue. She looked at her from head to toe. Then, she said, Mu Tangxue, I didn't expect you to be so real when you pretend to be me. Mu Tangxue smiled too. Am I pretending to be you or are you pretending to be me? Muchichi found it interesting after hearing that. Mu Tangshue's acting skills were really impressive, and her improvisational skills were not just for show. Which one of you is Muchichi? The one who was here before or the one who came in later? The second elder of the Shen family couldn't help but ask. He really couldn't tell them apart based on their appearances. They looked so alike. I'm Chichi, second uncle. Mu Tangxue took the initiative. Then, she pointed at Muchichi and said to Grandpa Shen, Grandpa, although I don't know why Mu Tangxue pretended to be me, I am indeed Chichi. Grandpa Shen smiled at Mu Tangxue. If you say that you are Muchichi, then show us the evidence. Even if they look identical, only one of them is the real Muchichi. Memory is not something that can be faked, is it? Mu Tangxue smiled. Mu Tangshue's face darkened. A few days ago, there was a drama in the Shen family. Tell us what happened. Because only Muchichi was in the Shen family that day. Mu Tangxue was not there. So, it must be Muchichi if she could tell them what happened that day. But, in fact, Rong Junhan had told Mu Tangxue everything that happened that day. So, it was not difficult for her to answer the question. Everyone looked at Muchichi when they saw that she answered without missing a word. She has already told us what happened at the Shen family that day and proved her identity. So, you must be Mu Tangxue. Mu Tangxue nodded. Muchichi looked at second uncle and smiled. What if someone told her? How is that possible? If that's the case, you should show us the evidence to prove that you are Muchichi. My body is full of evidence. It's easy to test our identities. I just want to give Mu Tangxue a chance to confess. You are a fake, aren't you? Huang Yu snorted coldly. You two sisters are not easy to deal with. Although Muchichi is really annoying, what dirty things are you trying to do by pretending to be her? I told you that I am Chichi, said Muchichi firmly. How can you prove it? Chapter 175. Of course I know the meaning of the tattoo. But how do I know that you are not trying to trick me? Mu Tangxue kept her composure. Suddenly, Shen Jianchuan interrupted their conversation. He pointed at Mu Tangxue and said, I asked her about the tattoo. She said it was because it looks nice. But you asked me about it too, didn't you? Muchichi continued Shen Jianchuan's words. Shen Jianchuan nodded. And you said it's because you admire someone. That's right. I did not get the tattoo because it looks nice. It's because it's the name of my savior. He saved me from the hands of the wicked and gave me a new home. Who is it? Second aunt was anxious. Of course I know. It's the name of my savior. Mu Tangxue, I did not expect you to investigate me so thoroughly. Grandpa, this person is Assistant Jing. Because everyone thought that Muchichi was taken care of by Jing Yun, the tattoo on her ear should be Jing Yun's too. Mu Tangxue wanted to seize the opportunity. But she heard Muchichi's laughter. Jing Yun? Mu Tangxue, stop pretending. I will call Jing Yun now and ask for his English name. Mu Tangxue was stunned. Was she wrong? Muchichi took out her phone and called Jing Yun. She explained to everyone, it's not Jing Yun's English name. He has another one. Actually, everyone knows him. He is the 8th young master of the Xing family, the crown prince of Huang Yao, Xing Xiao. Everyone was stunned when they heard Xing Zhao's name, including Grandpa Shen and Xin Jianchuan. Because Mu Qiqi did not tell anyone about it. Soon, Jing Yun's call was connected. Mu Qiqi did not say anything. She asked Jing Yun, Assistant Jing, please tell me the crown prince's English name. Why are you asking again? Hugh. Don't you have a tattoo on your ear? After Jing Yun said that, everyone understood. Mu Qiqi who came in later was the real Mu Qiqi. And the one who caused trouble in the ward was Mu Tangxue. After getting the answer, Mu Qiqi hung up and gestured at Mu Tangxue with her chin. I'm sure that if you take out your phone, there's no contact from Aunt Zipei, Jing Yun or the crown prince, right? Mu Tangxue instinctively grabbed her phone. I didn't bring it. Really? With that, Mu Qiqi stepped forward and took out Bai Sei's phone from her pocket. What is this? Mu Tangxue was speechless. She was completely stunned. As I said, it's actually very easy to tell us apart. Mu Qiqi held the phone and sneered at Mu Tangxue. I'm just curious. You pretended to be me while I was in the lab. You even got a tattoo and a mole. What are you trying to do in the Shen family? Do you want to replace me? Or are you trying to achieve some kind of goal? When Mu Qiqi asked that, she looked at Rong Junhan. Did you go missing for so long just to train yourself to become me? However, you seem to be lacking in maturity. So, it was Mu Tangxue who had a conflict with me just now? Huang Yu finally understood. Second aunt, aren't you curious about the reason why she did that? What reason could she have? She just wants to be rich and powerful. Huang Yu replied. You're wrong. If she really wants those things, why didn't she please you? Why did she try to cause a conflict between us? Moreover, she imitated me and did all the preparation work. It's not something that she could have done by herself. Don't you think that she's being instructed by someone? Huang Yu felt that it was reasonable after she heard that. Then, who is it? Since we've come to this point, I'd like to share a few things with you. Do you know that Dad did not become a vegetable because he fought with someone? Mu Qiqi looked at Rong Junhan subconsciously when she said that. Rong Junhan looked at Mu Qiqi. After everyone heard this, they were shocked once again. What? Especially the old man, who immediately stood up from his chair. In fact, the thing that really made Dad a vegetable was the second car accident. Mu Qiqi explained to everyone. It was 2 or 3 hours after Dad got injured in the fight. Someone hit him with a car. Although I don't know if she did it on purpose or not, but according to the abandoned report and documents, Dad was hit by a car. And do you know who the person who hit him was? Who? Grandpa Shen frowned and asked. Her name is Tong Shui. I believe someone knows her well. After that, Mu Qiqi turned around and looked at second aunt. She realized that second aunt's expression was equally interesting. Second aunt, don't you think so? Huang Yu suddenly panicked. She looked at Rong Junhan helplessly. Look at second aunt's expression. It seems that she needs some time to digest it. Alright, let's talk about Mu Tangxue first. Grandpa, is that okay? Mu Qiqi looked at Grandpa Shen and asked for his opinion. She also signaled him not to be anxious. Grandpa Shen took a deep breath and nodded. Okay. Go ahead. Just now, Grandpa asked Mu Tangxue about what happened in the Shen family that day. She told us everything. So, what does it mean? She was either not there or someone told her. And the person who told her must be there. So, it must be someone other than Dad who was in the ward today. It's impossible for second uncle and second aunt. Grandpa and third uncle would not do such a thing. Third aunt is the most suspicious one. Are you kidding me? Third aunt rolled her eyes. I stay at home all day. How can I have the time to entertain her? So, Aunt Rong, can you tell us that you hid Mu Tangxue and trained her to imitate me to provoke the Shen family because you don't want me to stop you from marrying into the Shen family? Of course, Rong Junhan would not admit it. Do you have any evidence? You're just spouting nonsense here, just like how you said Jianchuan suffered a second injury. Of course, I will say it if I have evidence. Why should I be anxious if I don't investigate it clearly? Mu Qiqi answered Rong Junhan calmly. You are the only one who has the manpower and energy to do this. You must give us a reason, right? Otherwise, how did Mu Tangxue know about it? Did you install a surveillance camera or a bug in the Shen family? Everyone looked at Rong Junhan, including Second Elder and Huang Yu. Actually, you don't have to be too surprised. Your sister-in-law has done more interesting things than this. Mu Qiqi stopped Mu Tangxue and grabbed her clothes. Don't you think so? Tangxue? Mu Tangxue gritted her teeth. She could feel that Rong Junhan was staring at her. Chapter 176. Of course, you don't want to know what I'm talking about. But, you admit that you are Mu Tangxue, right? Mu Qiqi crossed her arms and smiled at her. You can't deny it. Moreover, we can easily find out who hid you, who instructed you, who trained you and who told you about the Shen family. Then, Mu Qiqi looked at second aunt. Since Mu Tangxue refuses to confess, then we will turn our attention to Tong Shui. Rong Junhan saw that everyone in the ward was fooled by Mu Qiqi. She sneered at her. Mu Qiqi, I think you are the one who planned all this, right? You asked Mu Tangxue to pretend to be you and put the blame on the Shen family. You pretended to be the victim. But, in fact, you are the one who stole it. Aunt Rong, you seem to be very anxious. Mu Qiqi replied with a sneer. Otherwise, how can you explain that you appeared not long after Mu Tangxue appeared? I appeared because I received a call from Grandpa. Mu Qiqi said frankly. Do you think that Mu Tangxue could hide from the Shen family with her acting skills? From the first time she appeared in the ward, Dad had already seen through her. Because of this tattoo, Dad had asked me before what it meant. So, he arranged to meet Mu Tangxue today. And I came here today just to see how similar Mu Tangxue would be when she pretended to be me. But, it seems that she is just a so-so. So, Shen Jianchuan and Grandpa Shen knew about it. No wonder they wanted to gather all the Shen family. That's right. At this time, Grandpa Shen finally said, Jianchuan and I knew that Mu Tangxue pretended to be Mu Qiqi. That's why we came here today. But, I didn't know about Jianchuan's second injury. And Tong Shui. Second brother, can you tell me who she is? Second brother was stunned. Because no one knew that he had set up a company with Rong Junhan. But now, it seemed that he could not keep it a secret anymore. I also want to keep your secret, second uncle, but this matter is related to the murderer who injured my father. So, I have no choice but to make it public for you, second uncle. Then, Mu Qiqi turned around and said to Grandpa Sheng, Grandpa, we found out that there is a company called Xingrong. The legal representative is Tong Shui. And one of the shareholders is Shen Lin. After the old man heard this, he looked at second brother. Is what little Seven said true? Second brother couldn't deny it and could only nod. That's true, but... Alright, second uncle, since you've admitted it, can you tell everyone that the legal representative of your company, Tong Shui, is this sister-in-law in front of you? Mu Qiqi asked. This, looks like you've tacitly agreed to it. Now, as long as the daughter of the old director of the hospital was invited to identify the murderer, then the murderer who hurt her father for the second time would be revealed. Mu Qiqi looked at her and said, Aunt Rong, do you still want to argue? Humph. Rong Junhan sneered. Are you trying to deny all the kindness I've done for the Shen family all these years just because of your nonsense? Isn't your wishful thinking a little too good? It seems that Aunt Rong still doesn't want to admit it. Mu Qiqi looked at Huang Yu after she said that. Second aunt, you don't want to believe it either, right? I only believe in the evidence. Moreover, everyone can see how good eldest sister has been to the Shen family for so many years. What if she feels guilty and wants to monitor us? Mu Chichi asked Huang Yu. I don't know what to say. Second uncle, second aunt, you've never been a bad person. Why do you still believe what Aunt Rong said all these years? Don't tell me that her actions over the years really didn't make any connection at all. Hearing what Mu Chichi said, Rong Junhan went forward and raised her hand. She wanted to teach Mu Chichi a lesson. Don't sow discord here. But Mu Chichi turned her head and dodged. We'll know soon whether it's the truth or not. I don't want to talk to you. Since you're all against me, I'll leave. Rong Junhan wanted to leave. Because she knew that it would be disastrous if she continued to stay in the ward. But Mu Chichi had planted the seed of suspicion in everyone's heart. Even if she left, she would have to face it sooner or later. After that, Rong Junhan wanted to leave. But Mu Chichi stopped her. Aren't you going to bring your beloved disciple with you? I don't know her at all. Don't accuse me wrongly. Mu Tangxue knew that she was abandoned by Rong Junhan now after she heard what Rong Junhan said. Finally, she could not hold it in anymore. I admit that she asked me to go there. At that moment, Rong Junhan had not left the ward yet. She brought me away from the hospital. She gave me the information and the video. She asked me to imitate Mu Chichi. She said that she wanted to use me to sow discord between Mu Chichi and the Shen family. To her, Mu Chichi was the biggest obstacle to her entering the Shen family. After that, she gave me a makeover. Then, she asked me to work in her dance studio. She asked me not to worry about my future. She would arrange everything for me. So, I did what she asked me to do. Why does it sound like you and your sister are working together to slander me? Let me tell you. I, Rong Junhan, will not be wronged so easily. Don't even think about it. Rong Junhan shouted at Mu Chichi. You want to enter the Shen family, but you are afraid that I will stop you. I am a member of the Shen family. Why should I be afraid of you? Because you know that you won't have a good time as long as I am here. Are you done with your acting? Rong Junhan said sarcastically. Huang Yu, you still believe in eldest sister-in-law, don't you? Mu Chichi and Mu Tangshue's acting is full of loopholes. Huang Yu looked at Mu Chichi and then at Rong Junhan. You are the one who is full of loopholes. Do you have any evidence? Rong Junhan raised her eyebrows and asked. If you don't have any evidence, I can sue you for slander. Then, Rong Junhan wanted to go out. But, when she opened the door, she saw the former director's daughter, Dr. Zhong. Rong Junhan took 2 steps back. Dr. Zhong entered the ward and pointed at Rong Junhan. Then, she said to Mu Chichi, isn't she Tong Shui? What a joke. If I were Tong Shui, do you know how many times I come to the hospital every day? Dr. Zhong crossed her arms and answered Rong Junhan. I have been abroad for many years. Can't you hear that my tone is different? I only came back a while ago because my mother passed away. At that time, because of eldest young Master Shen's car accident, you went to my father and revoked the license of eldest young Master Shen's attending doctor. You asked him to keep it a secret, but he refused. Chapter 177. I'm not talking nonsense. The hospital has an archive of discarded documents. You can check it out. Wait here. I'll look for it. Then, Dr. Zhong went to look for the documents. But Rong Junhan was in a hurry to leave before her. But she was stopped by Jing Yun's men at the door. Madam Rong, why are you in a hurry to leave? Don't you want to see the evidence before you leave? Jing Yun came to the Shen family with the gifts that Xing Xiao had asked him to give. Rong Junhan's expression changed. She wanted to leave, but Jing Yun stopped her. Then, Jing Yun handed the documents to Grandpa Shen. This is the evidence of eldest young Master Shin's second injury. At that time, eldest young Master Shin's attending doctor had found out the main cause of his vegetative state. However, Madame Rong had bribed the hospital director to hide the truth. The initial diagnosis is in the information. To avoid suspicion, Rong Junhan had used the alias Tong Shui to collude with the dean. But Madame Zhong had seen it. What's more arrogant about her is that she bribed the dean to use the alias Tong Shui. She also used the name Tong Shui to set up a joint company with second young Master Shin. She probably thinks that no one will be able to find out. Jing Yun passed the documents to everyone in the Shin family. The witness and the evidence were here. What else could Rong Junhan say this time? After Grandpa Shin finished reading the documents, he walked towards Rong Junhan step by step. His gaze was fierce. He could not believe that he had let a wolf into his house after so many years. He had treated the person who had hurt his son as his savior. So, when he stood in front of Rong Junhan, he did not wait for her to say anything. He gave her 2 tight slaps on her face. Everyone in the ward was shocked by her action. Because of the 2 slaps, Rong Junhan's face was swollen. And there was blood at the corner of her mouth. I won't lose anything even if I shoot you today. Grandpa Shin pinched Rong Junhan's neck and said, "You have lied to the Shin family for so many years. Now, you want to hurt my granddaughter? Tell me, can I forgive you?" Old Master Sheng even lifted the man up. Rong Junhan's face was red and she could not breathe. Huang Yu quickly went forward and hugged Grandpa Shin's leg. "Father, don't be so agitated. We can't do this." "Then tell me, what should I do?" The old man retorted with bloodshot eyes. "Eldest brother has been lying on the sickbed for so many years. You brothers don't feel sorry for him, but I, as his father, am in so much pain that I can't breathe. And I'm old and muddle-headed. I let this be *tch take care of my son for so many years. If it wasn't for her, my son would have woken up long ago. Do you believe me? Grandpa, it's not worth it." Mu Chichi also came forward to persuade him. A woman like her who is like a snake and a scorpion, and she still wants to marry into the Shin family? Second bro, don't you like it a lot? What about now? The old man looked fiercely at second brother's family and asked. Huang Yu lowered her head in guilt and slapped herself. "We didn't know the right person and were used. Dad, please forgive us." "I forgive you, but can you forgive yourselves?" Huang Yu lowered her head and stopped talking. "You can't be 18 years old yet." Rong Junhan did not expect that she would be exposed by Mu Chichi in the ward today. She had underestimated her opponent. She thought that a little girl like her would not be able to find out about the past. She really did not expect that Mu Chichi was so capable. Rong Junhan did not expect that Mu Chichi was so capable. Ha ha ha. What a good show. But the Shin family is really stupid. It took you so many years to see the truth. That's right. I was the one who bumped into Shin Jianchuan that year. But so what? Su Ziqing has already married Mu Chichi. But he still wants to be with her. So, I have to teach him a lesson. Why? Can't I? What do you want? It's been 15 years. What can you do to me? Moreover, there are a lot of things that you didn't expect. Back then, I knew that Shin Jianchuan and Su Ziqing were together, so I called her. In fact, I didn't do anything wrong. After she ran out, she slept with the man from the Mu family. Not long after, they got married. Shin Jianchuan was excited when he heard that. It turned out that Rong Junhan was the one who caused Su Ziqing to leave him. Don't look at me like that. You and Su Ziqing are not compatible. You were not compatible in the past and you are not compatible now. I just did not expect that Su Ziqing could give birth to such a bastard. So, you deserve to be in a vegetative state now. After saying those words, Rong Junhan finally showed her true nature. She did not need to pretend anymore. I know that all of you want to strangle me to death. But I'm sorry. You don't have the ability to do so. Huang Yu, let's not talk about your company. Even your son, Shenlin's future is in my hands. You will never know whose daughter your daughter-in-law, Xiaojing, is. She's mine. Ha ha ha. What a stupid family. Rong Junhan was arrogant. But she had the ability to be arrogant. For the past 10 years, she had been secretly plotting against the Shen family. She would not let them go so easily. Huang Yu was anxious. She wanted to rush over. But Grandpa Shen stopped her. Don't you think you are stupid enough? Huang Yu's eyes turned red. She did not say anything. If that's the case, I don't want to enter the Shen family anymore. Anyway, my daughter has already married into the Shen family. It's nothing. I will leave Mu Tangxue to you. Remember to torture her well. I won't accompany you anymore. Then, Rong Junhan turned around and left. But Jing Yun stopped her. Rong Junhan snorted coldly. Do you want to stop me forever? You can sue me at the police station if you dare. Jing Yun, let her go, said Grandpa Shen. After Jing Yun heard that, he turned his body slightly to let Rong Junhan leave the hospital and the ward. I never expected that eldest sister-in-law is such a person. Second uncle punched the wall of the hospital. And I treated her as my father for so many years. I even helped her a lot. I feel disgusted when I think about it. Huang Yu knelt on the floor. She did not know what to do. Father, what about Shenlin? Now you are begging me? Didn't you only recognize your eldest sister-in-law? Grandpa Shen snorted. Father, you are magnanimous. Don't lower yourself to the same level as us. We were blinded by her. Huang Yu cried. Then why did you pick on Mu Qiqi for so long? Did Mu Qiqi ever hurt you? Chapter 178. Then, Father, why did you let her go? Shen Jinyun asked angrily. If I didn't let her go, should I keep her here? Don't forget who you are. Moreover, how would you know how many traps that woman has set for us? Let's talk about it later. What you need to do now is to find out the identity of your wife, Xiao Jing. Rong Junhan is a few years older than eldest brother. So, she must have had a child with a wild man long ago. But the Rong family hid it from us. Huang Yu felt as if a knife was stabbed into her heart when she thought about the couple who had just gotten married and had not come back from abroad. Mu Qiqi looked at the mess that Rong Junhan had caused in the Shen family. She shook her head and took a deep breath. Grandpa, Father, I'm afraid I have no say in the matters of the Shen family. But please let me handle Mu Tangxue. Xiao Qi. Grandpa Shen sighed. What do you mean you have no say in the matter? You are a member of the Shen family. Qiqi. Huang Yu thought about what she had done to her before. She felt ashamed. I'm sorry. I'm blinded by greed. I hope you won't hold a grudge against me. It's hard to predict a person's heart. Who would know that the family, who has been with us for more than 10 years, is actually a wolf in sheep's clothing? I don't blame you, second aunt. Mu Qiqi replied. It's not because I'm generous. It's just that what you are going to face next is a punishment. Since Rong Junhan dared to expose her illegitimate daughter, it means that she must have something on you. Perhaps, she will make use of second uncle and her to set up a company. After all, second uncle works for the government. He will not tolerate such scandals. That's right. Look. Even an 18-year-old child can see things more clearly than you. Of course, she can see things more clearly than Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen snorted. He was old now. Why don't you go back and think about it? Why are you still here? Then, Father, we'll leave first. Shen Jinyun pulled his wife. I'll learn my lesson in the future. Humph. Grandpa Shen turned around and looked at third brother and his wife. What about you? Fortunately, I didn't have much contact with eldest sister all these years. So, we don't have any financial ties. Third aunt smiled. Don't worry, father. That's good. Grandpa Xing glared at third aunt before turning to Mu Qiqi. What do you plan to do with Mu Tangxue? Mu Qiqi turned to look at Mu Tangxue and smiled. Grandpa, no punishment is better than letting her live under my watch. I'll give her a rundown house and a rundown school. I'll let her live a mediocre life so that she won't be able to stir up trouble again. I want her to see me achieve success with her own eyes. Mu Tangxue smiled. I won't be at ease no matter where I put the rest. You can't just kill them, right? Mu Tangshue's expression was blank. She simply didn't know what the others were whispering to her, nor did she know where Mu Qiqi intended to send her. Grandpa Xing nodded in agreement. She looks like you and can easily confuse people. So, you have to be careful. Grandpa, I'm no longer the Mu Qiqi that she played with. Shao Qi, you're a real member of the Shen family from now on. Don't be an outsider. As my granddaughter, you're the real third generation of Jianchuan. Who would dare to bully you? Mu Qiqi smiled and turned to look at Shen Jianchuan. Father, I'll come to see you another day. You must recover well. Shen Jianchuan nodded and smiled happily. Because he had a feeling that Mu Qiqi would be a great person in the future. She would be able to make up for the lost time that he had been lying on the bed all these years. Grandpa Sheng was relieved after Rong Juanhan's true colors were exposed. He watched Mu Qiqi bring Mu Tangxue away and third aunt and his wife leave the hospital. Your daughter belongs to this category. Grandpa Sheng gave her a thumbs up. Shen Jianchuan leaned against the bed and answered him with much difficulty. Father, we can let Mu Qiqi participate in second brother's business. Then, second brother and his family won't bully Mu Qiqi anymore. How dare he? But, I'm really curious about Mu Qiqi's ability. If she can even solve second brother's problem, Grandpa Sheng will be very happy. But, she is such a good girl. Becoming a forensic doctor, since it's her choice, we should respect it as her elders. That was why Grandpa Sheng felt that it was a pity. If Mu Qiqi joined the army and followed his old path, her future would be limitless. But, it was fine for her to become a forensic doctor. After all, she was serving the society. After this battle, Mu Qiqi knew very well that her position in the Shen family had changed. She would not be ostracized anymore. However, she still needed some opportunities to prove herself to the Shen family if she wanted them to like her. Mu Qiqi asked Jing Yun to bring Mu Tangxue along. Actually, it was Sheng Zhao's idea. It was much safer for the Sheng family to supervise someone than to let her go outside. Sheng Zhao said that he wanted to get rid of Mu Tangxue completely. He did not want her to have a chance to stir up trouble again. So, he gave her a poor house and a chance to go to a vocational school. He gave her a future where she would not be able to live. No one would help her and no one would dare to get close to her. That would be her gloomy life from now on. The three of them sat in the car. Mu Qiqi looked out of the car window. After a long time, she asked, "Do you still want to compete?" Mu Tangxue was dejected. Her heart was dead. So, she shook her head. "I don't want to be you at all of this was caused by you. If you had a little bit of humanity and didn't do those things to grandma, mommy, grandpa, and that scum of the Mu family, you wouldn't have ended up like this. You are a member of the Mu family. No matter how cruel grandpa is, he would not reject his own granddaughter. It's you." Mu Tangxue felt ashamed and angry when she remembered what she did to Grandpa Mu because she thought she was a member of the Shen family. Grandpa would never forgive me for the rest of his life. Why should he forgive you? You should know that the world does not revolve around you. Tangxue, everything in the past should be forgotten. You can say that I am cruel by keeping you in the slums. But I have to do it because I know that you have nothing to play with anymore. I accept. Mu Tangxue shed tears. At least I have a place to stay. Sister, you are still the best to me, right? Chapter 179. For the proud Mutangxue, she would have to wash her own clothes, cook her own food, clean her own house and live her own life. She would have to face the dirtiest environment and meet all kinds of bad people. It was the worst torture in the world. And because she would have to deal with life, Mutangxue would not have the energy to cause trouble anymore. Miss Chi-Chi, let's go. Jing Yun reminded Mu Chi-Chi. No one will recognize Mutangxue in 3 months after she comes here. Someone will take care of her. Don't worry. Because the tribulations of life can change a person beyond recognition. And she had bullied Mu Chi-Chi before. Would Xing Xiao let her live in peace? Daydreaming. For a young lady like Mutangxue, being reduced to such a state was like falling from heaven to hell. Could it be worse? Mu Chi-Chi nodded and went back to the car. From then on, she and Mutangxue would truly lead 2 different lives. After returning to the little mansion, Mu Chi-Chi told Su Zipei everything that had happened in the ward that afternoon. Su Zipei could not help but tremble in fear when she heard it. I really did not expect that the Shin family had such a dirty secret. But fortunately, Rong Junhan did not marry into the Shin family. It is a blessing in disguise. But Rong Junhan will not let it go. She kept second uncle's family in check. Mu Chi-Chi sat in front of Su Zipei and took a sip of tea. Let's not talk about the Shin family. Aunt, when are you going to marry Uncle Lu? And I really think that you two should have a small wedding. You don't have to worry about us. But do you think the Shin family doesn't hate you now? Mu Chi-Chi sighed and smiled. How can they not hate me? They just don't hate me as much as before. That is a good sign. And what are you afraid of when young Master Sheng is here? But when you have a stable position in the Shin family, you will be more distant from young Master Sheng. He is your uncle after all. Will the Shin family support you to be with young Master Sheng? That was the thing that worried Su Zipei the most at the moment. Yes, you are the daughter of the Shin family now. Your status is different. But will Grandpa Shin do what he did to your parents? Mu Chi-Chi was not sure about that, but she and Xiao Xiao would not be torn apart so easily. I believe in Xiao Xiao. Since he has made such arrangements, he must have a plan in mind. When you get home later, ask him. Mu Chi-Chi trusted him, so she did not have to ask. Be that as it may, Mama Sheng was still in the villa she had prepared for Xing Xiao. She had wanted to get close to her son and find out what kind of woman he was hanging out with, but Jing Yun was not at home all the time, much less Xing Xiao. Moreover, she had heard something about Mu Chi-Chi. Therefore, after staying in the villa for 2 days, she finally waited for Jing Yun to return home to rest. She stopped him and asked, Jing Yun, I heard something. I want to confirm it with you. Jing Yun knew what was going on, but he was still worried. He was afraid that Mama Sheng would ask, but he had to deal with Mama Sheng for Xing Xiao. Please ask, madam. Mama Sheng held her teacup and rested one hand on her other elbow, her eyes puzzled. I heard that Xing Xiao asked you to save a girl from the Mu family. Madam, she's a child of the Shin family who's living outside. How old is she? Does Xing Xiao visit her often? 18. She's in college now. Why would young master have the time to visit a little girl? It's just that this child saved young master's life when he was in a car accident. To return the favor, he asked me to help this child, Jing Yun said calmly. Mama Sheng nodded at that. Jing Yun, you have to be careful. You should know that there are a lot of girls out there waiting to climb into your young master's bed. Don't be careless and mess things up. I know. Since she's a child of the Shin family, it's fine to bring her to the Xing family and let everyone get to know her. The Shin family is in a lot of trouble now. I'll make arrangements for you after this. Jing Yun said evasively. All right. I'm going back to the Xing family now. I can't do anything about Xing Xiao. Satisfied, Mama Sheng put down the teacup in her hand. I'll see you off, madam. Then, Jing Yun told Xing Xiao everything Mama Sheng had asked Muqiqi. Xing Xiao had just returned to his new home. He found Muqiqi reading some documents on the living room couch, but he still answered Jing Yun, "You did well. Young master, forget it. You should rest." Jing Yun was worried about Xing Xiao. He had promised Mama Sheng that he would bring her daughter-in-law home in 3 months. Was he really going to bring Muqiqi to the Xing family? He wanted to ask, but he knew very well that Xing Xiao would not answer him. Xing Xiao raised a brow and hung up. He did not have to tell Jing Yun everything about his own private affairs. When they entered the living room, he hugged Muqiqi from behind and carried her to the dining table. Then, Muqiqi turned around and saw Xing Xiao's handsome face as she wished. "I know what happened in the hospital this afternoon. Did you enjoy it? I didn't manage to get Rong Junhan. Do you think I enjoyed it?" Muqiqi snorted. "Of course, I know that this woman has been lurking in the Shen family for so many years. It's not easy to deal with her. A cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. I believe that she must have prepared 10 escape routes for herself after staying in the Shen family for so many years. I've never seen such an evil person. She married her illegitimate daughter to the Shen family just to control the Shen family. It's your second uncle and second aunt's fault." Xing Xiao loosened his tie and revealed his sexy collarbone. "Now, Rong Junhan clearly wants to suck the blood of your second uncle and his family. Just like what you said, it's second uncle and his family's fault. I don't care about this kind of thing." Muqiqi hugged Xing Xiao's neck and said, "Moreover, Grandpa and Father are so smart. How can they not deal with Rong Junhan? How hard can it be to deal with a woman?" Xing Xiao put her down from the dining table and led her to the bedroom. "But your grandfather and second uncle are not suitable to be involved in certain situations. And you are a cunning little girl. You are not an outsider and you don't belong to the Shen family completely. Most importantly, you are not afraid of anything. You dare to go anywhere. Do you think Grandpa Shen will let you go?" "Xiao Xiao, my aunt asked me today. What about our relationship if I manage to get a foothold in the Shen family?" Muqiqi suddenly remembered Su Zipei's question in the afternoon. "Do you really want to be my uncle?" Then, Xing Xiao turned around and lifted her chin. He said, "I will be your uncle and your man. You are really, come on. I will let you see if your uncle is old or not." Chapter 180. Grandpa Shen wanted Shen Jingyun to find out the relationship between him and Rong Junhan. Now, second elder of the Shen family was in a dilemma. Other than Shen Lin's company, there are 3 other companies. I don't want to know how many companies you have now. I just want to know if you have done anything against the rules for this woman. Have you done anything behind the scenes? Grandpa Shen sat on the main seat in the living room and placed his hands on his knees. "Father, you know me. No matter how bold I am, I won't dare to do something like that. We still need to find out whether you will do it or not. Huang Yu, tell us about Xiao Jing now." Grandpa Shen glared at Shen Jingyun and then looked at Huang Yu. However, when it came to Shen Lin, Huang Yu became more worried. When Xiao Jing and Shen Lin were together, she told Shen Lin that her father was a painter, and her mother passed away after giving birth to her. Since they had never met her mother, they believed what she said. Yesterday, I asked a reliable friend to investigate it. Finally, I found out that Rong Junhan dated a poor painter for a period of time when she was young. But no one knew that they had a daughter. Moreover, Dad, all our assets are under Shen Lin's name now. If Xiao Jing really wants to do something, I'm afraid that we'll lose everything we've worked hard for the rest of our lives. Who asked you to be so gullible? Why didn't Rong Junhan go to third elder and his wife? Speaking of which, I have a big responsibility." Grandpa Shen took a deep breath. Now the biggest problem is Shen Lin. If Shen Lin is not bewitched and can tell right from wrong, it will be easy. But if I will call Shen Lin now and ask him to come home, How about asking him to come home? Do you want him to divorce after he just got married? Grandpa Shen was having a headache now. Rong Junhan was really evil. How could she come up with such a plan? Moreover, Shenlin only cares about Xiao Jing now. He might not believe you no matter what you say. In the end, you might lose both your money and yourself. What should we do now? How many days before they come back? Grandpa Shen asked. 2 days. Huang Yu answered quickly. 2 days. I'll have to think about it. There's another problem, Dad. Shenlin might be prejudiced against Chi. After all, the old man glanced at her and understood the meaning of her words. It was normal for a mother to complain to her son, but he still couldn't help scolding. Xiaoqi owed you in her previous life. Moreover, Jingyun had already calculated the things that second brother had prepared for Grandpa Shen. He had also prepared the information and handed it to Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao felt that Rong Junhan was quite an interesting person. Just because the second son of the Shen family was rather dull, she was like a vampire. She brought along her daughter and attached herself to the second son's family. It was one thing to swindle money, but the most unforgivable thing was to swindle feelings. Shenlin will be back from abroad in 2 or 3 days. He is an arrogant and despotic person. In addition, you are younger than him. It is inevitable that he will target you. Moreover, his wife is fanning his ears. So what if he hates me? I don't depend on him for a living. Mu Qiqi held Xing Zhao's shoulder and snorted. But you exposed Rong Junhan. I'm afraid the Shen family is counting on you to solve Shenlin's problem. They are newlyweds. How can I tell them that his wife is doing this for his money? Mu Qiqi could not bear it. Because it would be painful for her to think about it if it happened to her. If someone else had told her to separate from Xing Xiao like that, she would have been better off dead than alive. Lying is lying. You might think that it is cruel, but Rong Junhan and Rong Junhan don't think so. Xing Xiao turned around and hugged Mu Qiqi. Then, he put her on his lap. What if I lied to you? Mu Qiqi asked tentatively. Xing Xiao bent down and smiled. You can't lie to me with your little tricks. If I find out that you lied to me, you won't be able to keep your butt anymore. Aren't you angry? I am angry. But I will train you. I will beat you every time I lie to you. I can't let you leave my side. Good or bad, you are my little one. Xing Xiao lifted Mu Qiqi's chin. His eyes were dangerous and warning. I told you before. Since you dragged me into hell, don't think that you can get out of it. As for me, I won't lie to you about my principles. At most, I will tell a little lie every day. Mu Qiqi made a gesture with her hand. I know. Because there were not many people who could lie to him in this world. Although he was a devil, he was a meticulous person. It was difficult for ordinary people to notice what Xing Xiao was looking at. But he was a person who knew how to behave. So, did she want to lie to him? Even if she cultivated for 10 lifetimes, it would not be enough. Have you tried your little uncle's body? Do you feel old? Mu Qiqi thought of those things just now. She blushed. Can you not talk about this here? We are on the bed. What else can we talk about? Xing Xiao teased her on purpose. Well, it's very useful. What do you think of it? Since it's very useful, let's use it again. Then, Xing Xiao turned off the light. Although the room was dark, the atmosphere was getting more and more intimate. Then, they started to moan. It was true. Second elder was in the middle of the situation now. So, he desperately hoped that someone could help him. It was not a problem of money now. He just could not let his son be ruined like this. Rong Junhan was controlling his son. Who knew what else she would do to him? Huang Yu was a straightforward person. She was good at fighting. But when it came to scheming, she could only look at third aunt's back. But she was not on good terms with her. Father, after the couple comes back, let's have a meal together. Let Shenlin get to know Muqiqi. Huang Yu suggested to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Shen did not like Huang Yu's character. She even wanted to beat her up. Now, she had to ask for help. It was so embarrassing. But, he still agreed with Huang Yu. That's good. We should get to know each other. But, let me make it clear first. If Shenlin speaks rudely to Muqiqi, you must not spoil your son. Dad, I really did admit my mistake. I also know that Muqiqi is innocent. Although I'm a dumb person, I can distinguish between kindness and hatred. Since Muqiqi is a good person, of course, I won't mistreat her anymore. That's more like it. Chapter 181. The next day, Shenlin brought his wife home. But, he did not go back to the Shen family after they got off the plane. Instead, he went to his wife's house. During dinner, Shenlin's father-in-law, who was a painter, told him, I heard that your Shen family has a sister who doesn't share the same surname. She is your eldest uncle's daughter. She has turned the Shen family upside down. Humph. If she doesn't have Grandpa's support, she is just an 18-year-old girl. What can she do? Shenlin drank a glass of red wine. He was full of resentment. Grandpa has never treated my sister and me like that. I don't care what is going on in the Shen family. But, you can't let my daughter be wronged. Otherwise, I will make her leave you. Don't worry, father-in-law. Shenlin raised his glass and toasted to his father-in-law. Xiaojing is my life. Yujing took the opportunity to glance at her father. Their eyes met. Nothing needed to be said. There was no need for them to say anything else. They were all liars. The next morning, Shenlin brought Yujing back to the Shen family. However, on the way back, Yujing asked Shenlin, I heard from my father that this sister of yours, who doesn't share the same surname as you, has a lot of tricks up her sleeves. She made Grandpa very happy. So, I'm afraid that Dad and Mom will side with her. Don't worry. Our parents hate her. Shenlin replied. Even if our parents are convinced by her, I will not let you be wronged. I am your elder brother. I am your elder. Shenlin, you're the best to me. Yujing leaned on Shenlin's chest lovingly. Then, Shenlin brought Yujing into the Shen family. However, the atmosphere in the Shen family was strange. The elders looked at Yujing from time to time. They were suspicious of her. It made Shenlin uncomfortable. Dad. Mom, don't you know Xiaojing? Why are you looking at her so strangely? It's nothing. Did you have fun abroad? Huang Yu listened to Grandpa Shen. She did not want to ruin her relationship with her son. With her temper, she would not be able to hide it. However, Grandpa Shen called Muqiqi this morning. Muqiqi told Grandpa Shen that second aunt must suppress her temper. Since Shenlin hated her now, she would play the bad cop and second aunt would play the good cop. Then, they would play the good cop and the bad cop together. In this way, even if Shenlin hated her even more, he would not let second aunt tell him about it. If they hurt their relationship, they would fall into Rong Juanhan's trap. After hearing Muqiqi's words, Huang Yu almost knelt down in front of Muqiqi. I never thought that you would still be willing to help me. Xiao Qi isn't a good person. She didn't treat you like this because she forgave you. Dad, I know. Huang Yu nodded. Xiao Qi is a part of the Shen family. She did this because of you and eldest brother. Humph. Therefore, when her son and daughter-in-law came back in the morning, she reminded herself to resist the urge to question Yujing. Isn't a honeymoon like that? 2 days ago, you told me that the engagement between eldest uncle and eldest aunt was cancelled. What's going on? Did that girl not agree to it? It has nothing to do with Muqiqi. I will tell you the details later. Huang Yu did not mention a word about it because Muqiqi told her not to. It was because there were too many people involved in this matter. It was inevitable that Huang Yu would say something wrong. So, she told her not to say anything. It must be like this, your grandpa knows that you are coming back. So, he arranged a banquet to welcome you. You and Xiao Jing should go back to your room and have a rest. I will tell you when it's time for dinner. What do you mean by welcoming us? It's just to let us see that girl, right? Shen Lin said angrily. Eldest aunt has been worried about this family for so many years. Now, this wild thing came out and got in her way. It's so unlucky. Huang Yu resisted the urge to scold him. She quickly drove her son away. Go. Go. Because she was afraid that if Shen Lin said another word, she would not be able to hold it in anymore. What Rong Junhan wanted to do was to play mind games. She knew the Shen family too well. She did not want to play such tricks. Moreover, Mu Qiqi was just an 18-year-old child. So, she revealed Yu Jing's secret to the public. Indeed, Mu Qiqi was just 18 years old. But, Xing Xiao, who was behind her, could not be compared to 10 Rong Junhans. In the phone call between Mu Qiqi and Grandpa Sheng in the morning, other than Mu Qiqi's own thoughts, Xing Xiao had given her a lot of hints. Shen Lin was very angry. As her son, of course, he noticed that his mother was behaving strangely. But, he could not tell why. Yu Jing saw that and smiled. She comforted him. Don't think too much. No matter what, it will be fine when you see her tonight. At that time, I must teach this girl a good lesson. She should know what she should do and what she should not do. Whether Mu Qiqi had Grandpa Shen's support or not, she was still Xing Xiao's treasure. And Xing Xiao would only teach his woman how to take advantage of others. If she had the upper hand, how to show off. He would never teach her how to be humble and keep a low profile. Soon, it was night. Mu Qiqi came out of Shengting University. She got into Xing Xiao's car. When can I go to the Shen family with you to have a meal openly? Xing Xiao glanced at her while he was driving. Do you really want to go public with me? Of course not. I don't want to call you uncle. Mu Qiqi pouted. But, sometimes, I really want to. Where is the hotel? The Dynasty. Mu Qiqi answered. Why do you ask? Xing Xiao did not answer her. He sent Mu Qiqi to the Dynasty and called Jing Yun. Since Mu Qiqi wanted him to appear in the Shen family, of course, he could make it a beautiful encounter. After all, he still needed to eat, right? Mu Qiqi did not know what Xing Xiao was thinking about. She went straight into the hotel and went to a private room. Xing Xiao had told her not to be late or early. She did not want to be early to remind others of her identity. But, she did not want to be late so that others would not be able to use it against her. So, when she arrived at the private room, she was just in time. Qiqi, you are here. Grandpa Shen waved at her when he saw her. Come. Grandpa is here. How dare you to let the whole family wait for you? Shen Lin crossed his arms and snorted coldly. Mu Qiqi heard that. Then, she looked at Shen Lin and raised her eyebrows. You must be Shen Lin, brother Shen, right? Grandpa told me that the dinner will be served at 7. So, I arrived at 7. Is there a problem? I am not that close to you. Don't call me brother first. It's so straightforward. Chapter 182. What did you say? Shen Lin looked at Mu Qiqi angrily. Don't think that I won't dare to hurt you just because Grandpa is protecting you. I just came here and you're already angry. Are you trying to teach me a lesson? Mu Qiqi leaned back and looked at Shen Lin. But, I don't want to be angry because of you. I pity you. Shen Lin looked at Mu Qiqi. What are you talking about? Do I need you to pity me? Why don't you need me to pity you? Do you know what your wife's real identity is? Mu Qiqi looked at Yu Jing with a cunning look. What does this have to do with Xiao Jing? If you continue to talk nonsense, I won't be polite to you anymore. Shen Lin stood up and slammed the table angrily. Miss Yu, do you dare to tell your husband who your mother is? Yu Jing looked at Shen Lin awkwardly. I don't. I know that you want to tell everyone that your mother passed away during childbirth, right? Then, I must congratulate you. Your mother is not dead. Mu Qiqi clapped her hands in front of everyone. Because she admitted that you're her daughter in front of everyone in the Shen family. You can't deny it, can you? What are you trying to say? Shen Lin was puzzled. What I want to say is that your new wife, Yu Jing, is Rong Juanhan's daughter. She's her illegitimate daughter with the painter. Do you understand? Shen Lin was stunned when he heard what Mu Qiqi said. He looked at his wife in disbelief. Then, he looked at his parents. From their silent attitude, Shen Lin got the answer. Is it true? Shen Jinyun and his wife did not say anything. Even if it's true, isn't it too close? Closer ties? Mu Qiqi sneered and stood up. Do you know why your eldest uncle, who is my father, has been lying in bed for more than 10 years? Miss Yu's mother, Rong Junhan, hit him with her car. Stop slandering me. Eldest uncle became a vegetable because of a fight. Who are you trying to fool? Shen Lin held Yu Jing's shoulder. He was afraid that his wife would be sad. Whether I'm lying or not, the evidence is clear. Now, what I want to know is, Miss Yu, are you in cahoots with the evil like your mother? Mu Qiqi pointed at Yu Jing and asked sharply. Shut up. Shen Lin scolded loudly, this is the Shen family, not a place where an outsider like you can behave atrociously. Mu Qiqi, you should be more suitable too. Huang Yu immediately got into character and played the part of the red-faced girl. My son and daughter-in-law didn't offend you. What do you mean you didn't offend him? This woman's mother caused my father to lie in the hospital for more than 10 years. She caused me to be bullied by the Mu family for so many years. So what if I ask her now? Or, second aunt, are you not afraid that this woman is here to cheat your son's feelings? Yu Jing pretended to be pitiful. She looked at her husband and said, I don't know anything. I don't know why eldest aunt is my mother. Xiao Jing, it's not your fault. Someone is trying to pick a fight with you. I'm trying to pick a fight with you? Are you the president or the most powerful man in the world? Shen Lin, I'm going to pick a fight with you. Don't be cheated by others. When Mu Qiqi said that, Shen Lin couldn't stand it anymore. He stood up and walked to Mu Qiqi. He grabbed her clothes and said, I asked you to shut up. You little bastard. Shut up. Grandpa Shen couldn't stand it anymore when he heard the word little bastard. He looked at Shen Lin sternly. Qiqi is just curious about what happened these few days. So, she wants to ask her granddaughter-in-law. Why are you bullying her? How can you behave like this? Grandpa, I know you care about your granddaughter. But this woman has ulterior motives. We don't know what she is going to do to the Shen family. I think you're blind, Shen Lin. The truth is right in front of us. Rong Junhan has done so many bad things. She has admitted it in front of everyone. Yu Jing is her daughter. I don't believe that she can stay out of this. What a joke. Eldest aunt is eldest aunt. Xiao Jing is Xiao Jing. If Xiao Jing says that she doesn't know anything, she definitely doesn't know anything. Don't be a troublemaker. I believe in Xiao Jing too. Huang Yu agreed with her son. Shen Lin became more confident when he saw his mother supporting him. Moreover, this is our family's matter. It has nothing to do with you, an outsider. You better watch your mouth and get out of here. During that time, third brother went out of the room and went to the washroom. But, he bumped into Xing Xiao on his way back. Therefore, when the two of them entered the private room, the atmosphere was tense. Oh, it's Xing Xiao. Uncle Shen, what a coincidence. I was meeting a business partner here and bumped into third brother Shen. When everyone saw Xing Xiao, they knew the relationship between Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao. But Huang Yu did not tell her son about the relationship between Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao. So, Shen Lin said to Xing Xiao, "Crown Prince, you don't know how powerful my sister is. She has turned the Shen family upside down the moment she entered the Shen family." At that moment, Xing Xiao was still in the same outfit when he sent Mu Qiqi to the hotel. He was wearing a black retro suit which made him look noble. Then, he walked to Mu Qiqi slowly. Then, he raised his hand and patted Mu Qiqi's head. "Why are you so naughty when I let you enter the Shen family?" Everyone could tell that he was not blaming her. He was spoiling her. Of course, the others did not find it strange. After all, they were close because they were their benefactors. But Shen Lin did not know that. When he saw how Xing Xiao spoiled Mu Qiqi, he knew that he had found the wrong ally. "It's not that I'm naughty. You know what happened in the Shen family recently. I just wanted to ask some questions." But the eldest brother of the Shen family stopped me. Chapter 183. Mu Qiqi almost wanted to set off firecrackers for her man after she heard what Xing Xiao said. What she said was quite powerful. She told Shen Lin that Rong Junhan had an illegitimate daughter who was Yu Jing. Moreover, she told him that everyone knew about it now. So, it made sense for Mu Qiqi to question Yu Jing's identity. Mu Qiqi looked at Shen Lin. Her man was indeed a godly person. Sure enough, Shen Lin turned to look at his wife after he heard what Xing Xiao said. "Xiao Jing, no matter what, I believe that you are innocent. You should also tell everyone that you are innocent." "I believe Xiao Jing." Huang Yu expressed her attitude at that moment. "Xiao Jing, you should say it." Shen Jinyun played the role of the victim again. Because if both of them believed her, Yu Jing would definitely be suspicious. Yu Jing looked as if she had been wronged. She pouted and tried to hold back her tears. However, under everyone's pressure, she stood up and said, "I really didn't know that my mother was still alive. I don't know anything. I don't have any motive. I only got together with Shen Lin because I love him." "All right. Since it's because of love and your family is not short of money, will you agree if I ask you to sign a letter of guarantee?" Mu Qiqi took the opportunity to suggest. "I believe you when you say that you are not doing it for money. Since you have already said it, it's not a big deal to make a promise, right?" "Mu Qiqi, you are too much. It's my business if I want to give Xiao Jing money." "Your business? Among the companies in your hands, which one of them wasn't funded by second uncle and second aunt? What ability do you have to give them? What right do you have to say that it's your business? Now that Rong Junhan's case has happened, who can guarantee that Yu Jing is innocent?" Yu Jing felt wronged as she listened to him. In the end, she burst into tears. "You Shens are such bullies. It's you and Rong Junhan who lied to us. I told you that I am not close to Rong Junhan." Yu Jing insisted. "Why don't you believe me no matter what I say?" "Xiao Jing, calm down." Shen Lin quickly comforted his wife. "Since the Shen family can't tolerate us, let's go. I'm leaving too." Huang Yu threw down her chopsticks and left the banquet hall with her son and daughter-in-law. After the three of them left, Mu Qiqi sat down and looked at second uncle. She said, "Now, we can't be sure whether Yu Jing is really involved in this or not. But, at least she won't dare to act rashly after what happened today. Second uncle, when you go home, you must pretend to quarrel with second aunt. Then, brother Shen Lin will trust second aunt more. If he has any decision, he will tell second aunt directly." "Qiqi, second uncle, thank you." Shen Jinyun said sincerely, "You're willing to do such a thankless thing for a sinner like me. It's not just your family's business. It's also my father's business. I have a good reason to do this." After saying that, Muqiqi glanced at Xing Xiao. But Xing Xiao did not look at her. Perhaps he was afraid that Grandpa Shen would see through Muqiqi's feelings for him if they looked at each other. Moreover, I believe that Shen Lin will understand your good intentions in the end. Shen Jinyan picked up the wine glass and finished it in one gulp. He still looked worried. I hope so. Grandpa Shen glanced at Muqiqi and then looked at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao, tell me honestly. Did you teach this child a few tricks too? Xing Xiao looked at Muqiqi and smiled. She's a good seedling. She can be trained well. You and Muqiqi are fated. You have to be a good uncle. That way, I won't have to worry about Muqiqi. Good uncle? Xing Xiao snorted, but he did not refute him. He had already taught her on the bed. How could he be serious? It's just that once Xiao Qi is involved in this, she might suffer a lot in the future. What do you mean by that? Muqiqi pouted. Grandpa, brother Shen Lin can't win against me in an argument. Compared to Mu Tangxue, Yu Jing is much worse in pretending to be pitiful. Everyone can see that her acting skills are terrible. Brother Shen only trusts her because he likes her. But if you're afraid that I'll be beaten up, then you must send someone to protect me. You little girl. Grandpa Shen pointed at Muqiqi and smiled. Since the show has begun, let's work together and get over Rong Juanhan's hurdle. Everyone nodded. Then, they started to eat as if nothing had happened. But after Grandpa Shen talked about the Shen family, he turned to Xing Xiao and asked, Are you 27 this year? Uncle Shen, do you care about my age? I care that you should get married soon. Grandpa Shen sighed. Why haven't I heard anything about it? Why don't you find a woman to take care of you? Look at you. You can get any woman if you ask for it. I have a woman, Xing Xiao replied calmly. Why don't you bring her to meet me? It's not the right time yet. Xing Xiao smiled. I'm afraid she's a very good match for you, the crown prince. Xing Xiao shrugged. He also felt that this person was a very good match. There were thousands of women in the world. But, why did he fall into the hands of such a little girl? He had racked his brains and resorted to all sorts of tricks so that she could stay by his side in the future. Even now, he was paving the way for her to stay in the Shen family. Muqiqi couldn't help it. She reached her hand under the table and touched Xing Xiao's knee. Xing Xiao noticed it. He raised his eyebrows and looked at her. Do you want to die? The three of them left the private room and went to Yu Jing's house. They did not want to go back to the Shen family anymore. Shen Lin was furious. I really want to strangle that bitch. Shen Lin, why did we leave? We can't let this happen. If we leave, Muqiqi will be even more unscrupulous. What's worse is that your father doesn't trust his son and daughter-in-law. Instead, he trusts an outsider. Huang Yu's eyes turned red when she thought about it. Mother, you're right. We can't leave the Shen family just like that. Xiao Jing, you're the daughter-in-law of the Shen family. You can't be wronged for no reason. Let's go back. But, I really don't want to be misunderstood by your family. Yu Jing burst into tears. I really have nothing to do with Rong Junhan, don't worry. Didn't that woman ask you to sign a letter of guarantee? I will transfer the company to your name. I want to prove to the Shen family that you have nothing to do with Rong Junhan. You only married me because you love me. Chapter 184. Huang Yu secretly sent a message to the Shen family. Shen Jinyan could not help but sigh when he saw that Shen Lin wanted to transfer all the companies to Yu Jing. I really don't know what he has done. Everyone has a rebellious mentality. It's normal, second uncle. Muqiqi was waiting for the news in the Shen family. So, she knew about Shen Lin's plan. If it doesn't work, I will give up those companies. Even if you don't want them, it doesn't mean that Rong Jinyan and Rong Jinyan will give up. Moreover, you have worked so hard to get those companies. Why do you let the swindlers get what they want? Mu Chichi asked Shin Jinyan. We are injured both inside and outside. If you think like this, you will fall into Rong Juanhan's trap. Because this is what she wants. Mu Chichi comforted Shin Jinyan. Anyway, the situation can't get any worse. Why don't you relax? Anyway, you have already decided to give up the companies. Are you afraid that you can't solve this problem? What should we do now? I don't know much about the company. I think we can find the best lawyer. As for brother Shin Lin, we can ask second aunt to hold him back. Mu Chichi told Shin Jinyan that he was a politician. So, he had always let his son and Rong Junhan manage the company. So, instead of worrying about it now, it was better for him to hire a lawyer and prepare for the worst. As for Mu Chichi, she should go back home and consult the experts. What Chichi said makes sense. Instead of sighing here, why don't we try our best to think of a countermeasure? How can the men of the Shin family be so easily defeated? Grandpa Shin also spoke up to calm his son. Don't be worse than your niece. Shin Jinyan nodded. Actually, he was worried that Shin Lin would be cheated. Money was just a worldly possession. Moreover, the money that he had invested over the years had already returned to him. However, he was unwilling to let others take advantage of him. Then, Mu Chichi went home. She texted Huang Yu on her way home. Second aunt, please be careful. Huang Yu had mixed feelings when she read the message. She treated Mu Chichi so well in the past. But now, Mu Chichi was thinking about them. For a moment, Huang Yu felt that she was not a human. She was not only stupid but also blind. After that, Huang Yu went to rest. Now, the three of them stayed at Yu Jing's house. Her father went out to sketch. Lying in the Yu family, she was really on tenterhooks. She was afraid that Shin Lin would really sell the company after Yu Jing's pillow talk tonight. When Mu Chichi got home, she wrapped her arms around Xing Zhao's neck and kissed his face. You arranged for us to appear in the hotel, didn't you? It wasn't a chance encounter. Xing Zhao carried her to the study and put her on the sofa. You don't like me to appear? Of course I do. Mu Chichi sat in his arms and gave him the answer. It's just that you've really become my little uncle now. What's the progress with the Shin family? Xing Zhao changed the topic so that she would not think too much. Shin Lin was so angry that he said he wanted to transfer the company to Yu Jing. Is there **T in his brain? Mu Chichi could not help but complain. Does he really think that he has found his true love? Xiao Xiao, tell me, did I aggravate their conflict and caused the current situation? Don't worry. If you didn't aggravate them, second brother and his family would have been betrayed. They would have to pay for the betrayer. That would be really miserable. At least, it's not too late to make up for it. Then, Shin Lin wants to transfer the company. Even if he really wants to transfer everything to Yu Jing, he needs a lawyer. He needs to go through the procedures. It's not something that can be done in 1 or 2 days. Xing Zhao patted her but to calm her down. It's not a problem at all. So, you still have time to change Shin Lin's mind. How did Yu Jing and Rong Junhan contact each other? If it's not a meeting, it must be a communication tool. If second aunt pays attention, she will definitely find out about it. Moreover, Shin Lin is blinded by love now. I can't understand other things, but I can understand this. Mu Chichi looked at Xing Zhao deeply. It was because every time something like this happened, she would always think about herself. What would she do if she faced the same situation? You can understand? Isn't it normal for Shin Lin to be cheated 8 to 10 times? Xing Zhao snorted. Ugh, was this the contempt of a genius? Since Rong Junhan told you this news, it means that she is not afraid of your investigation. As long as Yu Jing insists that she doesn't know about it, Shin Lin will have a reason to believe her and support her. Now, the most important thing is to find out the evidence of them contacting each other. Otherwise, all of Rong Junhan's plans will succeed. She will alienate the Shen family and let her daughter get the company. Moreover, she will take revenge on the Shen family. What will you do if you are in her shoes? Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi playfully. What will you do if you are in Rong Juanhan's shoes? Of course, I won't let you find any evidence. So, I will choose to cut off all contact with Yu Jing in a short period of time. But, don't forget that there is another person in the middle. Xing Xiao reminded Mu Qiqi. Yu Jing's father. Mu Qiqi immediately thought of him. If Yu Jing's father is their mouthpiece, Shen Lin will not suspect anything. Second aunt said that Yu Jing's father has gone out to sketch. Xing Xiao could not help but laugh when he heard that. Sketch? He's probably with Rong Junhan now. Can Jing Yun find their location? Do you think Jing Yun is a tracker or a hound? Xing Xiao could not help but laugh. It's best to let the paparazzi do this kind of thing. To change Shen Lin's mind, they must let him see Yu Jing's true colors. But now, he was completely immersed in his wife's tenderness. The whole family was worried about him. Grandpa Shen took some time to visit his eldest son. He told Shen Jianchuan about what happened in the Shen family. Now, Shen Jianchuan had recovered a little. He could speak more fluently. Father, why don't you let Shen Lin learn his lesson? Grandpa Shen did not understand what Shen Jianchuan meant. Shen Lin was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His life has always been smooth sailing. He will grow up if he suffers a little. Otherwise, he will have a rebellious mentality no matter how you teach him. He will be just like me in the past. Do you want second brother to give the company to Rong Junhan? Grandpa Shen stared at him. Of course, I don't mean that, Shen Jianchuan laughed. Alright, you're doing rehabilitation training now. You don't have to worry about this. You're just like Xing Xiao. You look arrogant and despotic, but you're full of schemes. You just want to see Shen Lin fall, right? You want to help your daughter, don't you? Chapter 185. To Shen Jinyan and Huang Yu, they did not want to see their son drift further away from them and be deceived by Yu Jing. But to Shen Lin, the entire Shen family seemed to have been bewitched by Mu Qiqi. They were all against him and his delicate wife. So, to show his support for his wife, he contacted the lawyer the next morning. He was really going to transfer the rest of the companies to Yu Jing. Huang Yu could not help but pull Shen Lin aside when she saw her son making the call. She said, I don't mind if you want to support Xiao Jing. But if you give all of them to Xiao Jing, what will happen to us when we grow old? Xiao Jing will be filial to you, said Shen Lin. I have discussed with Xiao Jing last night. Mom, don't worry. Xiao Jing will not mistreat you. We will be the same as before. Huang Yu shook her head. I just feel disappointed. You are willing to bet the rest of our lives for Xiao Jing. Mom, don't you believe in Xiao Jing? I believe her. But, it is a fact that you are unfilial. After Huang Yu finished speaking, she retreated to the side. For a moment, she also wanted to give up on her son's matter. She didn't want to ask him if he was really cheated. However, if she really wanted to give these things to others, Huang Yu felt unwilling. Why should she? At that moment, Shen Lin was a little hesitant. But, he had already said it. He swore in his heart that he would take good care of his mother in the future. But, he had never thought of leaving a guarantee for his parents. Yu Jing was really happy. She did not expect Shen Lin to be so gullible. He was so loyal to her. If he was not a man from the Shen family, she would not be able to find a man like him. Mom, don't worry. I promised Shen Lin that I will treat you like my own mother. So, please believe me. Huang Yu could not look at Yu Jing. She turned around and went back to her room. As long as you are happy. Let's wait for 2 more days. Xiao Jing, wait for the lawyer to finish all the paperwork. Then, I will tell the Shen family that you are the most important person to me. No one can bully you. Did Shenlin really think that the Shen family would care if he gave the companies to Yu Jing? The Shens did not care about money. To Huang Yu and her husband, as long as it was not Rong Junhan, they could give it to anyone. They would even give it to a beggar. Huang Yu was very sad. So her son was actually like this. She had never realized it before. Did she spoil him too much? Then, Huang Yu sent the news to the Shen family. The Shen family was furious. They all told Huang Yu to go home. She didn't have to suffer this injustice. As for Jing Yun, he had arranged many paparazzi to follow Rong Junhan. Of course, they were all famous people in the industry. There would be news about them in less than a day. As expected, Jing Yun replied the next morning. I got something. Then, he sent a photo to Rong Junhan. It showed that Rong Junhan and Mr. Yu had left the house at 3:00 in the morning. They went to a 24-hour shop to buy some daily necessities. Then, they went back to the villa on the hillside. With these photos, even if they could not prove that Yu Jing and Rong Junhan were in contact, they could still prove that Yu Jing's father was in contact with Rong Junhan. It would be perfect if he could get more information from the Yu family's investigation. Jing Yun had put in a lot of effort. But he still needed time to get the result. Now that Mu Chichi had the photos, she only needed to stop Shenlin from signing the transfer agreement. Then, she would give him a severe blow to wake him up completely. But, Shenlin was afraid that the Shen family would stop him. So, he decided to deal with this matter quickly so that Yu Jing would not have any worries. After Huang Yu saw what he was doing, she couldn't stand it anymore. She grabbed Shenlin and gave Yu Jing a tight slap. Are you going to see my son break up with me? Are you going to be happy? Mother? I didn't. Yu Jing covered her face. Her eyes were filled with tears. You didn't stop me. You just want the Shen family's assets, right? Mother. How could you do this to Xiao Jing? I insisted on giving the company to her. How dare you hit her? Shenlin, your father and I have done our duty as parents to raise you up. But today, I don't want you as my son anymore. How could you give your parents' assets to a woman like her? What are we? Mother, Xiao Jing, don't tell me that she will be filial to me. Just wait and see. When she gets the company, she will dump you. Huang Yu said and turned around. Just pretend that I don't have you as my son. I am so sad. Shenlin did not ask Huang Yu to stay. After all, he knew that his mother would not be angry at him. But, it was a pity that Huang Yu was really angry this time. She went back to the Shen family and cried loudly in her husband's arms. She felt better when she saw Mu Chichi at night. Mu Chichi is my daughter from now on. I don't care about that bastard anymore. Second aunt, don't say that out of anger. I'm not saying that out of anger. Huang Yu snorted. If we can get those companies back, I will give them to Mu Chichi. Are you serious? Grandpa Shen frowned and looked at her. I swear. I'm serious. Look at Mu Chichi. She was bullied by me. But now, she is helping me. Her own son is so inhumane. Second aunt, don't worry. We will solve this problem soon. Because we have the photos of Yu Jing's father and Rong Junhan living together. In order to prevent any accidents, second uncle has asked Shenlin's lawyer to come over today. He told the lawyer about the situation at home. The lawyer said that he is willing to help the Shen family to avoid being cheated. So, the contract will not take effect even if brother Shenlin signs it tomorrow. Let's see how Yu Jing will react then. So you're saying that everything is ready? Huang Yu asked. Her eyes were filled with eagerness. She wanted to tear off Yu Jing's mask of hypocrisy. The plan to fight back is ready. But, you must be prepared. You will lose your daughter-in-law. Humph. If Shenlin learns a lesson from this, he will be lucky. But, if he is still so stubborn, I can't do anything about it. Fortunately, Mu Chichi suggested to ask the lawyer to help us. If he really helps us, we must repay him in the future, Shin Jinyan said. Let's watch the show tomorrow. Mu Chichi went to the hospital to visit Shin Jianchuan after discussing with the others. She was happy to see her father recovering well. I believe that you will be able to get out of bed and walk soon. Chi-Chi. Teach the bad guy a lesson. I will support you, Dad. Actually, I have done all these. It was all because she wanted to be with Xiao Xiao better. But, she could not say it out loud at this moment. In her world, Xing Xiao was everything. Chapter 186. They had to prepare a lot of documents to transfer the ownership of the company. If the lawyer was fast, he could prepare everything in a few days. Then, Shenlin and Yu Jing would go to the bureau to change the legal person. Soon, those companies would no longer belong to the Shen family. Shenlin was naive. He dared to transfer the company to Yu Jing because he believed that it was their joint property. Even if Yu Jing wanted to take it, she would not take all of it. But he did not know that Rong Junhan had already planned everything. She just needed to set up a trap to accuse him of having an affair. Then, she could ask him to leave the Shen family with nothing. If she did not have such a plan, how could she be considered as someone who had schemed against the Shen family for so many years? Now, the more the Shen family targeted Yu Jing, the more Shen Lin wanted to prove his determination. Even when Huang Yu left him, he still insisted on giving the company to her. He did not think about his parents at all. Because he thought that his parents had worked so hard for their whole lives. So, they should give him the company eventually. Otherwise, why did they work so hard? He thought that Shin Jinyan and Huang Yu were deceived by Mu Chichi. So, he wanted to settle the matter as soon as possible because he was afraid that there would be more problems. But, the Shin family did not appear in front of him when the lawyer was preparing the documents. It seemed that what Huang Yu said was true. Did they not want to acknowledge him as their son anymore? Yu Jing saw Shen Lin was silent. She was afraid that he would change his mind. So, she tried to persuade him. Are you afraid that your parents will be angry? You're their baby. They won't be angry with you easily. But, the Shen family did not do anything these few days. Maybe, the elders of the Shen family are helping me. Yu Jing hugged Shen Lin's head and said, "We'll treat you better in the future." That's true. Grandpa has Mu Chichi now. He won't care about me anymore. Thinking of this, Shen Lin put away his fear and became more determined. Xiao Jing, fortunately, we can go through with the procedures tomorrow. Silly girl. I love you no matter what. Love? Only Shen Lin believed that. The Shen family did not do anything. Although Rong Junhan was curious about it, she believed that the Shen family could not do anything about it anymore. So, she just let Shen Lin deal with it. Anyway, it was just a few companies. The second son, Shin Jinyan, did not rely on these few companies to make a living, but it was enough for his family. He knew that Yu Jing was her daughter and that Yu Jing was lying to Shen Lin, but Shen Lin refused to believe it. This feeling was really worth celebrating with a glass of red wine. But she did not know that the Shen family had already made all the preparations to fight back. Tomorrow would be a good day to expose Yu Jing. The Shins knew that Shen Lin and Yu Jing would be going to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce to settle the paperwork tomorrow. Moreover, they had booked a VIP room. Therefore, Shen Jinyan and Huang Yu dressed up early in the morning. They wanted to give Shen Lin a surprise today. Mu Chichi had told the two elders that they must go there 1 hour later than Shen Lin. She deliberately waited for them to finish the procedures. She must let Shen Lin and Yu Jing believe that what was done was done. There was no turning back. In this way, Yu Jing might give herself away. She might think that her plan had succeeded. She might not be willing to continue to lie to Shen Lin. Therefore, Shen Lin brought his lawyer and Yu Jing to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce. Everything went smoothly. He did not know that the staff at the Bureau of Industry and Commerce was actually entrusted by the Shins. Although Shenlin and Yujing had submitted the documents and signed the documents, the staff did not accept them. Because the Shins told the staff at the Bureau of Industry and Commerce that they might be involved in fraud, the staff arranged this show. According to the procedure, the legal person would be changed within 5 to 10 working days. Then, a new legal person's license would be issued. But in Yujing's heart, at this point, the Shin family could no longer be changed. Especially when they saw Huang Yu and Shin Jinyun at the lobby of the Bureau of Industry and Commerce when they were about to leave. Shen Lin's expression changed. It was because he saw Huang Yu covering her face and crying. She immediately rushed over and grabbed her son's arms, saying, "Are you done? Did you really give the company to this bitch? Mom. She's my wife. I won't allow you to say that about her. Are you still protecting her?" Huang Yu said. Then, she took out some photos from her bag and threw them to Shenlin. "Look at them yourself." Shenlin took the photos and flipped through them. Then, he saw that Rong Junhan was living with his father-in-law. But, he still sided with Yujing. So, he raised the photos and said to Huang Yu, "What does this mean? Mom, aren't you making a big deal out of this?" After Shenlin said that, Shin Jinyun had already slapped him. "Wake up. How can Yujing not know that Rong Junhan is living with this Yu family man? You just don't want to believe that this family is a liar, right? Dad." Shenlin was shocked. Because he had never been slapped by his father before. "Yujing, do you really not know?" Shin Jinyun did not want to talk to his son anymore. Instead, he looked at Yujing and asked. But, Yujing never thought that her parents would be secretly photographed. So, she did not know how to answer. "Do you dare to say that you don't know?" When Yujing wanted to say something, she received a message from her phone. Yujing panicked. She wanted everyone to ignore it. But, Huang Yu grabbed her handbag and took out her phone. Then, she saw the message from Papa Yu. "Is the transfer of the company done?" Huang Yu showed it to Shenlin when she saw the message. "It seems that your father is very concerned about the transfer of the company. Papa Yu never liked to ask about this kind of thing. He was obsessed with his paintings. But, he sent a message at this time." Shenlin finally looked at Yujing suspiciously. "Xiao Jing, what's going on? I'm just concerned about you. Your father doesn't even care about our marriage. Why is he concerned about the transfer of the company?" Shenlin asked. "You said that you will always believe in me." Yujing knew that she could not explain it. So, she could only play the emotional card. "How would I know why my father sent me such a message? I really don't know." At that moment, Papa Yu sent another message. "Let us know when the transfer of the company is done." This time, Shenlin saw it with his own eyes. "Us? Which us?" Yujing frowned. She did not expect that things would turn out this way. Anyway, she could not hide it anymore. So, she did not bother to serve this family anymore. "You are so rude. My phone is such a private thing. How can you touch it?" Shenlin was shocked when he heard what Yujing said. He looked at Yujing in disbelief. "What did you say?" Chapter 187. Xiao Jing, your parents are right. My mother and I have been in cahoots for a long time. My mother was the one who arranged for me to meet you for the first time. Otherwise, do you think that there are so many coincidences in this world? Do you think that we can meet each other every day? Yujing kept the things. She smiled when she saw that Huang Yu was going to eat her alive. "I'm warning you. This is a public place. If you dare to hurt me here, I will definitely call the police." Shenlin had never thought that a person could turn into a complete stranger in the blink of an eye. "You admit it?" Huang Yu asked angrily. "Yes, I admit it. But what can you do to me? The procedures have been completed. The Industrial and Commercial Bureau has accepted the case. Everything has gone through the legal process. Do you still want to change it? We don't need you anymore, Shenlin. After that, Yu Jing wanted to leave quickly. However, Shenlin stopped her. Xiao Jing, did you say that because you were forced to do so? Yu Jing was impatient. She shook off Shenlin's hand and stared at him angrily. Are you an idiot? Shenlin, do you know how stupid you are? Do you know how stupid you are in bed? You don't know. You only know how to ask for things from your parents. Yes, you are infatuated and you treat me very well. But think about it yourself. What part of you is worthy of being liked by others from the beginning to the end? You are impatient. You have no achievements. You don't have any skills. You rely on your family background to show off. You have never spent a single cent on your company. So, I don't feel guilty at all for lying to you. Are you even a man? Shenlin was dumbfounded. Yu Jing had said that he wasn't a man in front of so many people. She had even told everyone about their sexual intercourse. Men could not stand to be questioned about their ability in bed. However, the people around them looked at him as if they were watching a joke. Just wait for the divorce. Yu Jing sneered when she saw that Shenlin was dumbfounded. She glanced at Huang Yu and her husband before she turned around and continued walking. This whole family is a bunch of fools. They are hopeless. Shenlin was embarrassed. He then thought of canceling the procedures to change the legal person. However, the staff at the information desk told him, the cases that have been accepted cannot be cancelled. If you regret, you can negotiate with the other party. You can also file a lawsuit in court after the case is over. This is mine. I said I won't give it to you. Why can't I? Shenlin widened his eyes and shook the little girl at the information desk. This is the rule. Otherwise, do you think this is a market? You'll change as soon as you say so. Shenlin was devastated. He still wanted to chase after Yu Jing, but Yu Jing was nowhere to be found. Who asked him to write Yu Jing's name when he bought a car? No, this was a dream. Otherwise, how could a person change so quickly? Shenlin still couldn't believe it. He wanted to chase after Yu Jing, but Shen Jingyun stopped him. He slapped Shenlin's face 3 times. Are you awake? Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? Shenlin's head was buzzing. He really didn't expect that he would be cheated. He was so confident, so trusting of Yu Jing, and so devoted to her. Yet, Yu Jing said that he wasn't a man. Shenlin knelt on the ground in front of his parents. At this moment, his whole life collapsed. Didn't you trust that woman? Didn't you want to give everything you have to someone else? Are you okay now? Shenlin was in a daze. He hugged Huang Yu's right leg. Apart from disbelief, there were only tears in his eyes. Shen Jingyun didn't want to be embarrassed anymore. He immediately said to Huang Yu, "Bring this bastard back first. He doesn't want us anymore. Why should I care about him?" Huang Yu pretended to be cruel. Mom, I didn't do it on purpose. I really didn't do it on purpose. Fortunately, everything was in time. Otherwise, the mother and daughter from the Rong family would be very proud of themselves. She looked at Shenlin. Although Yu Jing was despicable, what she said about her son was true. Huang Yu was reflecting on herself. Of course, the 3 of them did not stay in the living room for long. Soon, they returned to the Shen family. After they entered the house, Shenlin knelt in front of Grandpa Shen willingly. Grandpa Shen glanced at him and drank his tea leisurely. Why? You were not like this when you left the Shen family. Grandpa, I'm wrong. I'm really wrong. How could I trust a vicious woman so much? Shenlin confessed and slapped himself. I'm so wrong. It's meaningless for you to apologize to me. You should apologize to your parents. You've hurt your mother's heart. Shenlin turned around and looked at Huang Yu. However, Huang Yu was unwilling to look at him. Just take it that I've raised an ingrate. Mom, please forgive me. I'm too stupid. I can't see a person clearly. Huang Yu felt sorry for her son. However, she listened to Muqiqi. She must hold it in and not give Shenlin any chance. So, she decided not to look at her son. She said to Grandpa Shen, "Dad, I'm going back to my room." "Go ahead." Grandpa Shen nodded. "Mom, Shenlin, you must be clear. We used to give you the things that your father and I fought for. But now, we can't do that. Don't even think about using our money. You can do whatever you want. You have to earn your own money. We've spent so much effort to raise you. But what about you? You're relying on someone else. From now on, we'll draw a clear line. Whenever you want to rely on the Shen family, you'll be borrowing it. You must return it." After that, Huang Yu left without looking back. Shenlin had no sense of boundaries. So, he felt that it was natural for him to rely on his parents. However, Muqiqi wanted Huang Yu to teach Shenlin about that. He did not have the right to use his parents' things without their consent. Because it was the most basic morality of a person. Shenlin lowered his head and cried in regret. But, no one was watching his performance. Grandpa Shen snorted coldly. Then, he went to his fish pond and continued his leisurely life. So, Shenlin knelt in the living room of the Shen family. He felt better doing that. He was punishing himself. Meanwhile, Huang Yu went back to the bureau. She wanted to confirm that Shenlin's change of legal person was invalid. After getting the answer, Huang Yu felt relieved. She called Muqiqi. "Chi-Chi, everything went well." Hee. When the Rong family knows about this, their expressions will be very interesting. I can already imagine it. Muqiqi said mischievously, "You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.